Word.
It's Christmas. Contractor directory in the country. Powered by Santa AI. ChristmasContractor.com. For the workers, the owners, the vendors, the dreamers. Get busy, get hired, get listed. Get busy, get listed, get seen, get lifted. Get calls, get jobs, get blessed, get gifted. Get found, get hired, get your whole life shifted. ChristmasContractor.com. Come on and get listed. He needed work, needed cash in his hand, needed hope, needed rope, needed one good plan, needed pay, needed day, needed somewhere to stand, and he found a light crew, hiring hands, over 100 companies, looking for crews, looking for boots, looking for dudes, looking for folks with something to prove, so we clicked that list and made his move, got high, got wide, got up, got paid, got trained, got name, got shown the trade, got lights, got nights, got more each day, now he's hanging C9s all the way, on the roof in the tree with the crew in the city, making good money, man, to work, got pretty cold, air, bright lights, whole town litty, he said I found my lane when I got busy, get listed, get seen, get lifted, get calls, get jobs, get blessed, get gifted, get found, get hired, get your whole life shifted. ChristmasContractor.com, come on and get listed, get found, get hired, get seen, get leads, get the whole town wired. Need lights, need crews, need a plan that fits. ChristmasContractor.com, come get on the list. Next year came, he had flame in his chest, had a truck, had tools, had a dream to invest, had skill, had will, had no time to rest. Said I'm building my own, I'm coming for the best. Needed leads, needed speed, needed calls on the phone, needed crews, needed news, needed help of his own, needed brand, needed land, needed not to stand alone. Then the directory put his name on the throne, got a profile, got phone style, got his company shining. Got renderings, got bookings, got the whole plan lining. Got materials, got tools, got the clock combining. 6 cents in the AI, got the whole thing climbing. Homeowners came early, getting ready for the season. That's contender for the lights, for the looks, for the reason, for the rendering. Showed the dream before the evening. He got listed, got busy, and the leads kept breathing. Get busy, get listed, get seen, get lifted, get calls, get jobs, get blessed, get gifted, get found, get hired, get your whole life shifted. ChristmasContractor.com, come on, get listed, get listed, get found, get hired, get seen, get leads, get the whole town wired. Need lights, need crews, need a plan that fits. ChristmasContractor.com, come get on the list. Now here comes a vendor with a product they need. Had clips, had balls, had wire, had speed, had reeds, had stakes, had gear for the tree. But nobody knew what he had in the street. Needed eyes, needed ties, needed trust in the trade. Needed buyers, needed flyers, needed orders made. Needed a place where contractors stayed, so we got that supplier. Lift the leg, got green, got his name in the mix. Got calls, got sales, got orders that click. Got stock, got lock, got his whole brand fixed. Now the whole train goes. Moved up big, every Christmas contractor looking for gear. Every lighting pro coming back each year. Every vendor, every owner, every crew drawing near. Get listed right now, this is where they appear. Need workers, need leads, need help in the city. Need products, need process, need something that's with me. Need forward, need proof, need the dream looking pretty. ChristmasContractor.com. Get listed, get busy. Need bulbs, need clips, need wire on the road. Need reefs, need trees, need lights for the pole. Need Santa, need answers, need help with the goal. Get listed, get lifted, let Christmas take hold. Get busy, get listed, get seen, get lifted, get calls, get jobs, get blessed, get gifted, get found, get hired, get your whole life shifted. ChristmasContractor.com, come on and get listed, get found, get hired, get seen, get leads, get the whole town wired. Need lights, need crews, need a plan that fits. ChristmasContractor.com, come get on this. Largest Christmas Famous contractor directory in the country. Powered by Santa AI. Workers get hired. Owners get leads. Vendors get seen. Homeowners get ready. Get busy. Get busy.
Well, I tell you what, the computer is definitely overloaded because I got like 10 dudes working using my computer. Maybe they're not dudes, maybe they're AI dudes, but they're working on the pooter. So I'm always here with my 10 AI assistants and my beautiful wife, Laura. What's up, Laura?
What is up?
Today's hump day. So if you ain't got no humping, today's the day. It's hump day. And we are getting over the hump. It's Wednesday, and we're about to go to Las Vegas next week. And there's a lot of stuff going on. But one of the most exciting things, I think one of our marquee shows, one of the best shows of the year is going to be this one right here. I haven't had any caffeine, so hopefully I don't overtalk our guests today. And just don't even take a break. Just keep talking like I normally do. But before we put this guest on, what's up, Laura? How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Sound good.
Thank you.
You've been doing a lot of work.
A lot of work.
I would say a lot of work in the bedroom, but that'd be the wrong thing. She's been painting and remodeling and all kinds of stuff.
I've been hammering wood in the
Yeah,
bedroom.
she's definitely been handling some wood up there.
Been placing trim.
Oh my gosh,
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, she's been pulling out all the stops for sure. But yeah, we had a lot of home improvements done. We've been doing a lot of AI improvements. I've been stuck in front of the computer, and it's all because of this guy who did warn me first. But
Yeah.
Joey Murphy from Murphy Christmas Lighting out of Dallas, Texas. What's up, Dow?
What's happening?
Look, there he is, babe.
I see.
There's the Murph. That's him right there. That's him.
You guys started off, you're so raunchy today.
No. That was Laura just setting the expectations of the parental advisory sticker should be on every podcast that your boy Ron's on.
Yeah, on YouTube, you can't trust for kids. You got to mark that one off.
No. If you put for kids, you got a sign out in the front yard. Yeah. yeah, exactly.
No, thanks for having me. Thanks for letting me share stuff today.
Oh yeah, well this is like the third. I sat Laura like for 3 weeks in a row. I've like Joey was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And because we'll like text throughout the day, like at 3 o'clock when we wake up for the day or something like that. And then I'll say, "Hey man, what you doing?" He's like, "Yeah, I just woke up." I'm like, "Yeah, me too." And then it's like, "Well, what are you about to do?" I'm like, "Man, I'm about to be on a podcast, but we don't have any guests." So I'm like, "You want to come on?" He's like, "Nah, I'm in Oklahoma," or "Nah, I got something going on." So I finally tied him down. What's up, homeboy?
Tired, man. Just, I don't know. I haven't even been, I guess I'm online, but I'm not on social media really. If I do go on there, it's like 5 minutes. I'll respond to something and then I'm off. I don't know. I just don't have time for it because I'm just building, like constantly building. And so I'm super, super excited about this year for sure.
Not nervous?
Not nervous at all. Like, and a matter of fact is like because when you equip yourself with the tools, like you're going to war and it's like, well, I mean, I don't know, pick your game, Fortnite, Minecraft, whatever is I'm crafting things, I'm building things. And so I'm preparing for, and I feel more confident because I have all those tools and I know exactly how they work and just the way it's structured and engineered. So it's how we architect our business really. And when you kind of architect it correctly and things are flowing, I think it's going to be the best year we've ever had. And I'm not just saying that. It's because like I built a giant spaceship, like we're intergalactic now. It's just insane. The amount of payroll already saved, how fast we're moving. We're already like years ahead of where we were.
Isn't that the Beastie Boys, the intergalactic atmosphere, something like that?
That's right.
Yeah. So Murphy's always telling me how he's intergalactic and I'm here and I'm in like another solar system on star net, whatever. He's got the whole thing down, like not saying that I'm ahead of you. I'm just on a totally different planet than you do. So it's like, all right, man, I'll try to keep up. I'll nod my head and pretend that I'm keeping up.
Yeah, I had to build a substation on another planet just to speak to you. That's why we're speaking right now, because I'm just so far away.
Nano. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
That Mork and Mindy or whatever.
Yeah, how's that natural oxygen on Earth kind of thing?
Yeah, gravity's a son bitch around here.
No, it's fun, but it's nice talking to somebody who's, I guess, has the same mindset as you, because that's the other thing is I see everything online. And that's why when you said you want to come on and stuff is to be like, well, this is where my head's at, but I'm seeing everybody say the same thing and then not saying like where they're going to go with it. It's almost, I see more people, even with AI and their business and stuff, is like almost like they're saying to wait, or it's not like you shouldn't speed yourself up because how much does it really speed you up and everything. And when you kind of look at the architecture of everything, it's like, well, you're really looking at like one little thing of an increment, but this one thing ties into all these other things that slow you down. So it's not just 1%. It really isn't. And, you know, that's what I hope to go over today with. But with this AI stuff, we could talk about forever. And that's why I got some notes.
Laura's driving. Laura says, when you and Joey get together, you guys just will talk, and I'll never get a chance to word in. So the co-host, you know, of the show, what's going on, Laura? Tell us what's going on.
I just like to know which one of you wants to go first.
You're driving, baby.
Well, we can, before we dive into the AI stuff, I didn't tell you
We're
this,
not diving into AI, but go ahead.
yeah. Before we do all that, I do want to say I did pick up my suit yesterday for our 15th wedding renewal. That's happening
It's
in
the
Vegas.
15th wedding anniversary, which also happens to be a wedding renewal.
Right.
Yeah. That's what we're doing, Laura. We're going to Vegas with the Murphys.
We sure are.
Yeah, he just picked up his suit. But he's like, don't worry, you can wear blue jeans and a t-shirt. It's not a big deal, but I'll be dressed up to the nines. But you could wear like a basketball shorts and look like an idiot. Yeah.
I did do some custom things on my suit. I showed Chelsea yesterday or whatever, but I went to go pick it up and they're like, oh, you got to, they were really busy too. And they're like, you got a suit? And I was like, yeah. They're like, did you get tailored? And then I was like, yeah, I came in, I got like whatever. I have a suit, right? And then he comes out and he thought maybe I just got a little tweak or something from the store. And he comes out and this dude's like, you got a custom suit, dude. Yeah. And he's like, look at this thing. And I'm like, oh yeah. And so, but it's pretty cool. I like it a lot. And I got it custom with little things from, you know, back in the day when we first were dating and stuff. That's
inside the jacket or on the outside?
Yeah. Even on the cuffs of the undershirt, inside the jacket. I mean, full custom.
It's like when you go to the not the Columbine, but the NFL draft, and they got, when they're being drafted, they have all their family members on the inside of their suit jacket and stuff. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah.
It's important.
He's making it special.
Sounds important. Sounds great.
Like all that shit you're doing, you're making me look bad. And a lot of guys out there, right?
No, you're overhyping it a little bit. It's just, it's an important event and it means a lot to me and Chelsea. So, you know, it's just it's memorizing of what this is. I don't know too many people, even myself, that have been married 15 years. That I don't meet a lot of people that are even that. And then especially at our age, you know what I mean?
Well, you don't meet a lot of people when you're stuck in the freaking computer.
That's right. A little hermit crab, yeah.
Oh my God, he's out in the sun. Holy shit.
Honey, put some sunscreen on him or something.
He's gonna burn. Somebody take a picture. He's outside.
I just self-combust.
All right, Laura, come on now, drive it.
I am. Let's hear about it. Let's hear about good old the power couples.
Oh wow! Look, she got graphics to go behind her little process. The AI power couple. He doesn't want to talk about AI yet.
Oh, we don't want to talk about AI. What are we talking about?
We're talking about power couples. You're just using AI to show it.
Yeah. We're talking about right now. We're currently talking about this.
No, that power couple.
The vow renewal. That doesn't even look like Joey, actually.
Dude, do you know who I look like? And I don't want to say the name. You could probably guess it.
Oh, you mean this picture right here?
Yeah, like that don't look like me.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think?
Ron looks the most accurate.
Yeah, no, mine looks good. Laura looks, really close. Chelsea, Joey, that was not a good one.
See, I made them go back and do some more because we're okay here.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit more. Yeah,
a little better.
I'm showing her how to do it.
Y'all,
that one actually looks really good. That one looks really close.
This one doesn't look like Chelsea, and this one doesn't like me.
It looks
close.
It looks close. It looks close.
They're dating.
We're all wearing leather jackets.
Yeah, it's like
in the Matrix.
I mean, if they were stunt doubles, I think there's stunt doubles over here. Right?
You know Timmy No Breaks off Kill Tony and stuff. We look like Timmy No Breaks.
Yeah, right. All right, what else you got, Laura?
Why do you keep putting it on me? Well, seriously, you're going to show something, or he's going to show something?
Well, they got a question for Joey, real quick.
You have a question for Joey?
No, we got questions all over the place. I mean,
yeah, we can take a few questions. I could dive in.
I had 10 questions. As a matter of fact, Michael Carey, man, he gave me like a whole bunch of questions, and we talked for like 2 hours in a life-changing conversation with him, like Saturday.
He seems like a nice guy.
he's hungering for it, man. That's all you want. Teachable, coachable, trainable. He's hungering to be excellent. He's hungering to be awesome. If you have a question out there and you want to talk to the GOAT, Joey Murphy, that's the person I talk to whenever I'm like, what's up? That's who you want to talk to. So ask your questions. The first one I see over here is someone that looks familiar. Oh, Chelsea Murphy. I'm surprised she's not even on the podcast. But who's that lady? Who's that lady? Who's that lady? Yeah, I know. Who is that lady? Doesn't look nothing like Chelsea. Where is Chelsea?
AI's.
She's around here. She's actually really trying to gear up for this renewal. I mean, she picked up our boys' suits. They just tried them on. They just got haircuts today. I mean, we're really trying to get this thing moving.
Yeah, I cannot believe that I had to like force her to give me the information about the damn thing. It's like she wanted to wait till the week before the vow. Oh, by the way, you should probably stay at this hotel. And this
dude, I made you a slide deck and everything. You pushed me into that.
I know, dude.
I thought about even making
3 months away. I gotta book the room. What are you?
I thought even about making it into its own interface and everybody can dump their like the Google Drive. Memory, you don't need any of that kind of database anymore, like with what we're doing and everything. So let's just make our own database. Let's make our own website. Let's make it this interactive thing because you can build it so fast. It's like then everybody can dump their photos in. Each day you can dump different photos, different events. You could dump different photos. I was like, maybe I should make all that. She's like, we don't need all that. But when you have it, it's really, really nice. So.
Yeah. Do you have any personal questions over there, Laura?
Personal questions?
Like just something that doesn't have anything to do with what Murphy's doing, just something who he is or what he does? Pull up that soccer ball. I want to hear about that. I want to see that soccer ball.
Gosh, you're hitting.
There's that soccer ball. I
have a. He starts talking about his website. You're not gonna be able to shut him
ball.
up. Yeah, what's up with this soccer ball? Because everyone's talking about the soccer thing, and then I see that Murphy's got this big ass soccer ball out there, showing off that he's got making all this money with these commercial decor. What's up with that, dog? You haven't even told me about it.
I mean, top secret intellectual property. You know what I mean? no, it's so I really, really like design. Like I think in my core, the creative side, because I was a firefighter paramedic for 13 years. I played golf growing up. I actually have my golf clubs here, and there's a pretty cool putter cover that I've had for a while that I could show you real quick. But with it is, I was a firefighter paramedic, and it didn't allow me to be too creative, obviously for certain reasons. But it did teach you a lot of different things. And I love design. So anytime I can do a custom fabricated piece and then do it outside of the holidays is just insane. Like this is one, we haven't done too many. I wish I could get more opportunities, but again, people have to have the right amount of money, the right mission, because everybody, a lot of times they look, okay, what's the market? But then out of that market, yes, this would be I used to do that all the time. This would be a great thing to design. You look at it, you pass by an HOA and you're like, oh my gosh. Chelsea passed by one in Argyle and she's like, oh my gosh, look, I could do this and this and this. And your brain goes a little wild, of what you could do. But again, like what's their mission? What's their budget? Do they believe in Christmas lights? Those monuments will never get decorated if they don't believe in it, right? Because it's their money. And so with this is doing this property over the years, we've kind of ramped up. It's not just like, boom, it's a big thing. It's like, it's kind of proving your worth. And then for this is the FIFA World Cup. It's here in Arlington. Big deal. I went into Dick's Sporting Goods just the other day, picking up my suit, swung by there, just filled with FIFA stuff. Like I can't even shop anything else. It's all, and I'm like, imagine this stuff on sale after the World Cup. It's probably going to go to other countries or something. There's just so much of it. So with that is, then we also have the 250th anniversary of the 4th of July, and the FIFA World Cup runs through it.
Yeah.
So around here is, what I love to see on social media, of what social media should be, is like the Japanese picking up their trash.
Oh, dude. Yeah, they're trying to get the social credit score, right?
Well, I don't even, if that's just in your heart, you do that. Why aren't we all doing that as human beings? Why are we these like selfish, like just throw your movie theaters? Everybody just leaves their trash and pick up. But
who goes to the movie theater these days?
We do.
We do. That's romantic. Yeah. See,
we have a theater room too.
Stop, Joey.
Yeah. With my kids and stuff, they like to see horror movies. Really.
So this is the deal, right? This is the actual thing. The Dallas Design District, where he's got this soccer ball out here.
Yep.
Look at that damn thing.
In a couple days.
That thing. Oh, it looks like the dude's about to go kick it. I like that.
That's what Chelsea said.
Yeah, he's about to.
He's like, doesn't it look like he's
corner kick?
And I was like, instantaneously, it was like I could easily throw that in Gemini or something and have him kick the soccer ball. You know,
100. Yeah,
like,
100.
It's so easy. But yeah, the my boys tell me stuff like Jax wants to go to Italy, and one thing he said was about Americans and like what people say about Americans. And I was like, well, what makes you American? Because he's like, maybe I should try to not un-American, but like the behaviors is like you automatically look like a tourist, right? He doesn't want that.
No.
And so I was like, well, what makes you like a tourist that stands out? You know what he said, which kind of blew me back a little bit, was he said that Americans lean on things. And I was like, what do you mean? And he says when people look around, he's like, they're in their chair and they're just like this. They're up against the wall. They have to like, where can I lean and sit down? Like I'm so lazy. When at other countries, you know, their chest is up, they're sitting up, and it's
Yeah.
So I thought it was really interesting that he observes people that way. But the Japan thing is like, that's what humanity is supposed to be. We need to get away from all this stuff. All this, even people bucking AI, which we'll talk about in a second, everything is, it's a tool, and to resist it, I mean, that's normal human behavior. The resistance to change, you can see that in leadership books. That's where I learned it in the fire service, is resistance to change, when people change things. And just to resist AI like that is like, it makes your life better. I don't understand how everything you do, and then there's arguments everywhere. You know, you could say like, well, why do you have all these things in your life that you have to manage? And it's because we're human beings. Like there's so many things a human being needs. Food, like we don't have to hunt for food anymore, but all of a sudden if AI can make food even more better, would you resist that?
More better. That's the first redneckology thing I've heard.
That's in Louisiana. I lived in Louisiana for 6 years.
More better. Yeah.
More better.
Yeah. So. You're right. You're right about that. I tell you what, it's so interesting is domesticated. I like to use that word, domesticated, because if they put your ass in the wild, you wouldn't be able to feed yourself if you weren't in this environment like that.
Right.
You know. So, I mean, the same thing is like cell phones when they first came out, you know, people were just bucking on it. Like, I'm just not good with phones and all these buttons, and I've never been a button kind of person. And you're like, Grandma, cell phones make your life easier, but just people buck on because they don't want to learn something new. They see other people doing it. It seems like it's very difficult, and it is, and it's very time consuming. But if you spend enough time, you get to really make something that makes your life more simple. And all the stuff you're manually going through the same process over and over, you can kind of replace those things with an AI strategy. And that is something that you just don't know how to do it. But as soon as you learn how to do it, like Murphy said, I'm not going to tell you this unless you agree that, remember, what did you say?
I said that Laura has to agree to that. I can tell this to you. Because it's going to ruin like your sleep schedule. It's like your mind is not going to shut off. Because I know you as a person. I know what you do in your day to day as an entrepreneur. And with AI empowers the entrepreneur. And so when I hand you this, and like at first you're just like, okay, whatever, show it to me.
I said, dude, I don't want to hear the whole, okay, I'm going to be up all night, whatever. Okay, dude, just tell me.
There's the muzzle, Laura. I was
me
talking
like
to you about that muzzle is like, I also know you, Ron, a little bit to know like, hey, like consult with Laura, like this, but I know that this is going to happen. And Laura's like, I'm not stopping you, but yes, like, go ahead, you know, because we know that you're going to just do it anyways, because that's what you're going to go.
Yeah.
Like,
so ever since he fucking tells me all this, I've been up since like 3, 4, 8 o'clock in the morning, wake up like at 10:30 with 3 hours of sleep, and then back in the chair till I've worn out 2 executive chairs already with pads, and I've sprained my ankle by.
Why are you rocking? How do you even ruin chairs like that?
Well,
like
people got to lean, dog. Americans got to lean.
That's
back.
What I'm saying.
Lean back. You know what I'm saying? Lean back.
He's broken the ass down in these chairs.
Yeah, no.
To the point that they are ruined. I'm sitting on a cushion right now because he's ruined this chair.
That was my chair. She's sitting now. Yeah, and then I've also sprained my ankle from tapping my foot at the desk from being here so long. So now my ankle's in a cast thing. I can barely walk just from fucking fidgeting too much while I'm at the desk too many hours.
Like you're a little rabbit cartoon thumper.
The whole thing, dude. It's like, how do you injure yourself at the desk? Like, what kind of wussy do you have to be to injure yourself at the desk?
No, but
again.
For real, I've lost some weight where you have to stop and you have to go move your body. Like it's a real thing. And I think you even said on one of your podcasts maybe was about like how my brother is at the computer doing work all the time. And he now has like a standing desk and like even a treadmill thing, you know, and it's like,
Oh yeah.
Jesus, just get off the desk for a little bit and go swimming or something. But
Exactly.
it actually makes it where I have to just force myself to stop and actually take care of myself. But that's your mindset, right?
Where's
like,
your brother?
He's in Utah right now.
Doing what?
Yeah. With Lights at Wholesale. He's still he working for Lights at Wholesale still, but he's going up there fixing some things, implementing some system stuff, getting them ready for the new year. All good stuff.
What's up, Johnny Cox?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was thinking like, you know, as soon as is he gonna be in Vegas?
No.
He ain't going to the wedding vow renewal?
No, my family also.
What the That's weird.
No,
I thought he's gonna be like, man, I've been hearing all this shit you've been talking about me being a nerd, and I'm ready to kick your ass. Let me take my pocket protector out real quick. I'm gonna bust you in the lip.
No, that's not Jonathan at all.
He would say.
No, that's not Jonathan at all. Jonathan, he has certain things that he's just a very unique individual, man. Yeah. But with it is, anyway. No, there's also a family reunion on my side in Colorado, because that's where a lot of my family lives. Yeah, that is around that time too. And
that's what I would do too. It's like, hey, Murphy invited us to go to Vegas, but that shit sounds expensive. Plane tickets. Now that Spirit's down, you know, like where else are we gonna fly? Why don't we just? I got an idea. Why don't we just have a family reunion the same time, since Chelsea took so long to tell us the details, and we'll just schedule a family reunion so none of us have to buy an airplane ticket. When did we
first tell you? Like it was like.
February. Yeah, February.
You got plenty of time, man.
Yeah, and I said, well, tell me the details. What day is it? And I must have said what day it is for 2 months.
We told you the anniversary.
And then you said, I'm busy working on this AI. Chelsea's in charge of it. And then you say, hey, Chelsea, what's up with the damn wedding? Yeah. And Joey's supposed to send you something. And that shit went on for like a month and a half because you were busy doing this website, whatever you're doing.
Impatient.
You're too impatient. Yeah.
Are you... Ron, just say you're excited that you're coming. Just say it.
We are. It's like next week. Yeah.
Like when I told you, you're like, give me all the details right now. And I'm like, you don't need them right now. Calm down.
Yeah, no, I got to book my room because I got to have the balcony suite overlooking the Bellagio fountain. When we went in December at the Cosmopolitan, we did get the balcony corner suite, but it was facing the other way and not the fountain. I didn't realize there was a difference until I got there, and I was like, shit. So this time I made sure I got it.
Yeah, I really like that. Last time we stayed was at the Bellagio fountain, and you can just, especially when you're higher up and you're facing it, I didn't realize the boom that it shoots out of the ground like that. Like when you're down low, you can kind of hear it, but when you're up on the balcony, it kind of echoes a little more. I mean, this thing, I'm just thinking like aliens are looking down on our planet, and it's just this hydro pool of just boom, like this, 30, 40 foot tall geyser of water come out of the ground. That's man-made. It's pretty impressive little thing. Because how old is that fountain?
Hell, I don't know. It's been there for a minute.
Ask AI. It'll tell you.
We ate dinner at the Bellagio, right on that restaurant inside the Bellagio that you have a table right next to the fountain on the water. And I didn't know that it actually played to music. Like it's all synchronized to music. You hear it when you're walking down the street, but there's so many people, you're just like, making sure you don't get robbed and shit. But like standing in that restaurant, like everyone spoke French, right? And man, it had all these beautiful Christmas songs because it was like a week before Christmas we were there. It had all these beautiful Christmas songs, and all the Bellagio fountain was going to the Christmas songs. And then, of course, inside it was like Christmas Day walking in that damn place. It was so awesome. Yeah. The observatory inside the Bellagio.
And that's the other thing. You could see the top of the observatory from your balcony, and you could see into it.
Oh my God.
And that was like, man, this is a nice suite, Yeah.
So that's why I said I need to know in advance so I can book the right room. Don't tell me like a week before and the shit's booked.
Also, if you look at it though, and I didn't really think about this till like last month, is that we'll be there on the renewal day, which is the 26th. That's our anniversary. And then look at a week later is the 4th of July. So they're probably going to be buzzing and getting stuff ready for 4th of July 250th anniversary stuff around there, I'm sure, but I don't know what events are going on there, but I bet when we go there, things are kind of ramping up for that.
Hell yeah, let's go. Great. Anyway, man, let's get into it. Everybody's been waiting for the AI that Murphy has been spending. What's it been? 4 months? 3 months?
Yeah, about 4 months.
4 months neglecting his family, not hanging out with his kids, not taking care of what he's supposed to be doing. He's been just stuck at his computer, obsessed and addicted to results and look at these results. He showed me like what it was like a month ago. He showed me.
Yeah, just
And
when
you
I
said,
was
I'm almost done. I'm not really
Nah.
done yet. I'm still working on it, but now it's done, right?
Well, that's the thing is you kind of go and you start even like what I thought my company would be, it's always like it would go to that extent, but like you go into these like little crevasses, like these little cracks, and then you go deep, deep down, almost like Antarctic, and you're like going down deep, and you can go that deep now. So that's what is like you get something done, but then how do you get this other thing to work? Oh, you gotta string this one thing. And I'll use the word stringing between applications. So a lot of people are building applications and then they're not stringing them together. So there's features like you may be able to, make it where you can do renderings and stuff like that, but take it all the way through the pipeline. And how does that one thing, like, how can you capitalize on it to keep it going down the line where you never have to touch that thing again? And how do you wrap it? So that's where I made this bizwrap.ai.
Let's see it, dog. Let's see it.
That's
show me.
Well, slow pump.
Dude,
You're like this renewal, dude.
The break.
No, I told
Calm
Lauren.
down.
She goes, "How long is this podcast gonna be?" I said, "Probably 4 hours."
No, it'll be like 2 hours, and then
Yeah, because me and Murphy, like when you and I get on the phone, I look at the phone. I'm like, the whole 3-hour conversations, we've been crushing that. Like 4 hours.
Yeah, I mean, we're already 30 minutes
in. So like when you stay up till 8 in the morning, and then you go to sleep and you wake up about noon or so. And then 1 o'clock you come bebopping down the stairs, and then the first thing you do is like, let me see what the hell Murphy's doing and see what he's up to. And now it's 5 o'clock, you haven't had breakfast yet, and they're like, hey, dinner's ready, and you're like still on the phone with Murphy, just waking up. It's like, what? I mean,
no, I feel bad about it a little bit. There is that like entrepreneur family guilt, but Chelsea is so nice about it. They're like, she cooks dinner every day. Great cook. And what happens is she comes in and she's like, do you want it in your office or do you want to eat out in like the dining room? And
that's
so
eating out.
Right. We don't eat out. We cook. Like you don't understand. We only eat out at like, we'll go out to a nice restaurant or something like really high end restaurant. Other than that, even when we go places, like we were just up in Oklahoma and I says, hey, do you guys want to grab something to eat? And everybody was on page that I don't want to waste the money on this place because it's not going to be worth it. Like you'll check out, it'll be $80 and you're like, what was that? Right.
Yeah, you get that a lot in Vegas.
Right. Yeah. But as long as it's quality food, I don't mind paying, but it's like, we can whip something up real quick. So Chelsea, we brought a whole cooler and it's just like, our food's better than other people's food.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But with it is, yes, they've been very patient with me, and I've been building this thing, and I think it's pretty amazing. It's translating into my personal life, which I'll kind of explain that. I do have some notes. I may hop around just a little bit with that, but I can kick it off and kind of talk about each component and piece. And at the end, I'll show you some features of the app. So get everybody on live that's going to be on here, and I'll show it kind of at the end. But I think it's so important to understand the structure and the mindset behind it. Because if I show it right away, you're just going to miss like 90% of it, right? Is all the back end code stuff. So
you ready?
I did share my screen on that. So there's something that I came to realization and about like all these systems and everything. I did go and I analyzed every system because I wanted to make our systems better. It's like, okay, there's Jobber, there's Go High Level, there's Notion. You'll hear all these applications. And once I broke them all down, I realized that everything is just code. And it almost is like, the movie The Matrix, and it's all this just 0 1s and codes. And it's almost like that. So Jobber's code, Go High Level's code, somebody coded it. Somebody knows it's their software. And so when you look at it, is you could never, ever make those things. You can replicate those things nowadays. So you become a developer. So that's what truly, I'm not just a Christmas light. And I always say with Christmas lights is that's just the business I do. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've done many different businesses, but I love Christmas because of the design aspect. But then when you look at it, it's like, well, what kind of engine are you going to run that company under, right? And everybody has different engines. So when you start breaking out all the code, you realize that there is just bridges that go from one thing to another. They're called integrations, right? You have Jobber, and then you go and I have Zapier. I can't live without Zapier because it hooks up my emails and all this other stuff. And when you really, really look at it, it's about a database. So if you just put everything into your own database and I mean everything, into yours. Do not leave anything outside of it, because what happens is with AI is they say hallucinations. The reason why it's hallucinating is because it doesn't have enough grounded information into your own database. You have to centralize it, not decentralize. That's what it is. Decentralized with a bunch of webhooks and Zapier integrations and all this stuff, trying to ping things. That's where things can break. So when people are like, oh, do you feel good about this? I feel way better about this. Like, what if your website throws this code? It can fix the code within faster than calling GoDaddy or something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You understand how
GoDaddy answers the phone at least, and then someone on ChatGPT helps you.
Right. They're like, hold on, click, 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 and they're
She's
talking.
like, let me look in my database, and they're typing shit in. You're like, dude, I could look on ChatGPT. That's what I should have did anyway.
Right.
Instead of calling. Yeah.
So with it is, then you go from, this is an OpEx, CapEx. So anything I say, like, I don't know I'm learning as it goes. Like, even what I know from a week ago is, I feel like I was dumb a week ago. You know what I mean? But I do know where I'm at right now is just way ahead of where I was like in February. Just
let's see it, man. Let's see it. Let's move it along here.
So with it is this OpEx and CapEx. And what OpEx is you get started with your Christmas light business, and like, how do you create an engine for it to run? And that's what Jobber does really well, right? Like, you can plug into it and it has some features. So what that does is upfront cost is really, really low, because if you're doing what I'm saying is like to build an operating system, that takes a lot of time, a lot of money if you were to get people involved. Then there's IP ownership, your intellectual property ownership is you don't own it. You just own the data that's on that kind of walled garden. That's what I call Jobber, is a walled garden. And then workflow, it's really rigid, so you can't customize anything. To me, I know Ron's probably heard it, but it's like I'm painting a picture with paint. Mm-hmm. Every pixel everywhere. This is, when you look at everything else, like Notion, everything else, it's just container blocks. That's all it is. And you can kind of move them around and link things up and do what you want. That's not what this is. You're painting a picture, imagining it. So then the valuation impact is really low, because you're restricted. And that's where a lot of people, and I'm trying to figure out where people are, where they hit a certain amount of money based on their business model, of where that breaks. And so that's where it goes into CapEx. And this is where enterprise level people, why they make all that money and stuff, is because they would spend the money to create their own operating systems and to create their own thing. In the past, that was a lot of money, like an insane amount of money. So what happens is, and I'll go through this, is you own 100% of your intellectual property. You own all the code. You own your own operating system. What that does is it gives you a multiple evaluation of your business. It's easier to sell your business. Why? Because everything is grounded into its own database. Mm-hmm. My analogy is just like the Matrix was, where Trinity has to fly a Black Hawk helicopter, and then she just, like, in 2 seconds it uploads. Imagine doing that with your business if somebody wanted to acquisition you. What would that be? That would be a bunch of markdown files is what it would be. Mm-hmm. And so if you can get your business in its own database and markdown files, which is the code of AI, that's its language that it likes, is markdown files. If you can break it down into there and centralize it, you can inject your whole business and somebody can pick it up really quickly. So they don't have to spend the money when they acquisition you to, like, where's all this at? Where's the gate codes at, to get all the operation going? So very, very, very good. But what happens here is there is this giant leap between the two, and AI broke that. So that's what I want people to understand, is like, this isn't just an application you build 50 applications and wrap it in an operating system grounded to your own database. That is the goal. And then I'll talk about it a little bit later, but that's called deterministic routing, is when you ground it, is like, hey, I want you to have this clear path. That's like your policies and procedures. So deterministic routing, recursive, self-healing, which is the learning part. That's very important. Flywheel. So if you go to bizwrap.ai and you go halfway down, you'll see that terminology. That should be the goal of everybody, to do exactly that with your business. And if you aren't doing that, you're not utilizing it to its fullest capacity. So as we speak about these things, is like, my operating system does that. And I've created 15 right now. I have 15 flywheels in my business, which means it's almost no human touching. And it's just, it's going around like this. And as it works, it learns from itself and it validates itself through me, and I can do a throttle. So everybody's like, well, do you trust AI and everything like that? I have a throttle to how much interaction I will be and how much I won't. And if I trust it enough, I can make it full auto to where it's just really going really fast. But that's where maybe you get busier in the season, not as busy. We can tend to these things. I think the human part is very important, and where to plug it is very important, which I'll talk about. But to finish up the OpEx and CapEx, is that the OpEx is where everybody's living. This is where I was even living before this, AI stuff kind of came out where you could do this. And then to get there, it would take all this time and all this money for somebody to build it. And it may not be what you want exactly.
Yeah.
Because somebody else is involved. And I know Ron's pretty passionate about this, is like, you have to understand this industry in order to string these applications. And what applications do you need in the real world? But that's where, when you run a business for so many years, is you get this experience. And once you ground that knowledge, you can really remove yourself as an owner. Like, truthfully, just ask I call mine Crystal, and Crystal operating system is, you can ask it questions and it'll tell you things that you're like, well, just ask Joey. No, don't ask me a thing. Why? Because if Crystal don't know it, I'm going to go put it in there. There's no shame into having all that knowledge in there. You want that knowledge in there so you can remove yourself. Why? Because what makes somebody special isn't the knowledge. That's not what drives business. It really is not. And so the real important things that drive it, that's you specifically. And that's a real big dear thing to my heart. And that's why I use AI. It's very powerful. I'm flying a spaceship, but there's certain points that we'll talk about that I'm very involved in, and I probably will never stray away from it. And I'll tell you even like 10 things of what humans have to be involved in once I go through my list. But I wanted to show this visual to show, like, to get to this enterprise level type stuff. And enterprise, I'm kind of using it in a real weird term, but what is enterprise? How big of a level? It's very, very big business. But I'm saying, for how do we get and level up the next tier in the Christmas light business and the holiday lighting home service business, is that gap is now shorter. So what happens is, everybody's operating down here with this OpEx systems and all this stuff. If people create operating systems and it doesn't need the capital to do it, those expenditures, what's going to happen is going to narrow down. You're going to get closer to those bigger companies.
Yeah.
Dude.
And those bigger companies, the problem that they have is implementation, resistance to change. Remember, it's the implementation. It takes too long because they have too much data that is not centralized. I've seen
JC Penney ass dudes.
Oh yeah. There's some businesses that is like, you see those Christmas lights and they're tangled and you're like, oh my gosh, just throw that away. There are businesses that have their and everybody everywhere, I think, is a little messy, and AI's getting it. But I'm talking like, okay, well, in Jobber, for example, is where do you put your gate codes? Because there's a couple places in there you could put it. So then how, when you go to build your operating system, where's all the gate codes? And it's trying to figure it out. It doesn't know. And then the other thing with AI, when you have that not in your own centralized database, is privacy is huge, right? That's the number one way to get sued, is privacy. So you see Facebook and all that stuff, but it's authentication. So AI can't, the reason why it hallucinates, it doesn't know anything about your business, is because your business is in Jobber. That's a walled garden. In Jobber, it's not going to let anything in there. Why would it let bots crawl around it? It's trying to protect your privacy. It has Cloudflare, and Cloudflare flips it. I even try to do this in Jobber, is I try to take a bot, approve it, hand hold it in through the door, and release it to go look through my stuff. And it said, no, you can't do that either.
Yeah,
so
to do like 85,000 screenshots.
Yeah, right. Well, that's where I even put a free GitHub, how to pull your PDFs off of Jobber through Puppeteer.
I seen that. That was the Jobbers Cook. They called me about it when they sent me this this Jobber tumbler, the water.
They don't give me anything.
The
like
Yeti.
that,
yeah, they didn't give you shit after what you said online. But yeah,
I still think Jobber's great. Don't get me wrong, but it's not for me anymore.
Yeah, they're coming to San Antonio, Texas to kick your ass. I say, well, that's a little too far west and south. He's in Dallas if you want to see Murphy.
Well, you ain't got my location.
Yeah.
No. No,
they're coming to Austin. Like, if y'all have any better ways to make this better, just come with your laptop and we'll just do it right there with you in person. It's like, no, thank you. No, thank you.
Well, but you have to look at it from their standpoint too. And because I do want to hop off AI just for a second, talk about all the product being sold everywhere for cheap and everything. I know you did say you want to talk about in here, but if you look at like what it is if I had to start a company, I don't have any revenue. I don't even have any data. So I don't need an operating system right now. But when do you need one? is a big point, is now it'll be where you scale up to a certain point through those systems. When those systems start breaking, you don't get more systems and more integrations. You end up going and making your own operating system. So Jobber's great, but would it ever be like a really niche Christmas or pressure washing or whatever home service operating system? That they're more of the masses and giving as many features that it can hold in their database, but they're trying to tailor to many different industries. And maybe
Yeah.
they do that once you kind of break that and you're spending $2,000, $3,000 a month on software, you're kind of like, this needs to change and I'll spend the time to do the operating system. I think that's important to understand like what everything is. So Jobber is cooked for me 100%. It's
Oh,
cooked.
Jobber's done, dude. As soon as they give me a bill, I'm going to say I appreciate. They actually called me the other day. And they were like, hey, I see that you downgraded your campaign, which I always downgrade the emails and shit because I only do Christmas. So I don't need all that shit during the year. I don't really talk to too many customers like that. And commercial customers don't care about your Google reviews, you know? That's a little pro tip. Most people don't know. But they don't care about your Google reviews. And it's tacky to put that onto your estimate, actually, for commercial customers. So it's really for residential customers. So I would turn that feature on, the reviews and the, whatever. We would, and the Google reviews, and also the after the fact to ask for a review. We usually turn that on in the Christmas season. But the lady called and she's like, I seen that you turned that off. And I said, actually, you see that we haven't paid for Jobber in the last 2 years, and I still got money on there to keep it going. But I don't know if we're going to be renewing because Jobber is just not made specifically for the Christmas industry. And now that I've learned, how to bypass this this SaaS, and figure out how to do it myself, I just think Jobber just doesn't have what it needs specifically for my industry or my business, because I got to have 3 screens going with 4 programs going when I take a call, or else I'm like, give me a second so I can open up these 5 different things so I can do an estimate. And that is not the most efficient way of doing it. And I feel like now that I've had the skills to use AI, I got this shit pretty much figured out. I just haven't implemented it, but I've been putting the effort in, and it's gonna be real close. But it's not that hard to do. But if you listen to Joey explain this AI, it sounds fucking super difficult.
Well, what's difficult if you got $1 million business? If you truly have $1 million business, what are you doing?
Yeah, true.
And then they're like, well, that's the bottom. Like, that's only this percentage of my bottom line. I'm not going to do that. The thing is like, when you look at the functionality of the business, like when I say that engine, your engine can take you 2,000 miles, but is it making noise and clunky, or is it smooth operation? So that's where it affects your personal life. It really does. And you're like, oh, I'll throw people at it. That's what everybody does. They try, and it's a horrible idea. And then they try to guide people along the way, and they lose a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money. I've eliminated steps that we'll never, ever do again that I would pay payroll to. You know what I mean? So when you look at it, is when you even have those kind of operating, like it's not an operating system, and then you have all these different softwares, is your data lives separately in all those softwares. So even like when you go to build your operating system, how does everything match up? People are concerned about that. And what that is semantic learning. That's what AI is really good at. Like when you ask it to move a picture over, it may take like 30 seconds to move it over, right? And it's like, dude, I just want to hit it and I want to move it. I'm going to build a whole program just to move a photo.
Smoke string and then identify the pipeline first, and it's like a 5-part process to move it. But if not, you'll do some other shit and it wasn't committed, and then you'll go back to a ghost version of something before you committed it, and then you're like, oh my God, what am I doing? It's like there's a process to it, but it may not be as fast as WordPress or Shopify on those dashboards, but man, it's way
you're painting
better.
A picture, you're painting, and then you're repainting it is what's happening. But with the semantic learning, what happens is you can do really big things really fast. And that's what people need to focus on. Like you can create videos and it's like, why is it taking me 30 minutes to like kind of make this video? But you may ask it something like, oh my gosh, this would take me all week with numbers and all that other stuff. And it'll like all that data just moves over. It's saying like I could probably move out of Jobber and build Jobber within 1 week.
Yeah.
Like if I wanted to replicate it, I could do that. Yeah.
Close to it, but better. Yeah. It'd be that, but better probably.
But then you get done and you're like, well, I want to make it better. And that's kind of what I'm, get in that trap and everything.
You got a question from the live audience on YouTube.
That is a great thing. I I'll tell you just the strings of the payroll component. So like we have a crew section. It has crew compliance, such as like our agreements, everything else, but also how they get paid. The system tracks it with either pay for performance or hourly, all the different tiers of how somebody would want to get paid. I think you have to tailor to your contractors, and it's not just like, hey, we just do pay for performance. Sometimes it makes sense that you can do other things for us anyways. But how they are, the one big thing is the financial side is I would say, like, if anybody is going to try to go for this year, you're starting to run out of time to run into the season where you would want to like keep your QuickBooks or something, because it does something like specific 1099s and some tax stuff that maybe you could do. But with Crew's stuff is it's so dynamic into the operation. So when you start to see if like almost like it's bacteria and you had bacteria on your hand and everything you touch is like, well, where would all the Crew stuff be touched? One thing is we did our job site photos, right? We always want our crews to take great marketing photos so we can spread our business and everything. And it just seems like even in Jobber, it breaks. It doesn't show up. There's no validation metric.
There was no cell phone service when they were at the house and they forgot what customer it was when they went to the next one or some shit.
Right. So like even that aspect is like they're on the job site. It tracks in one map. There's all these waypoints that is in individual items. In that is they upload their photos and it goes to our marketing side. But when they upload the photos, it also I have an agent that tracks that stuff and it finds out which properties and what's, and it puts it up into what our cockpit is. That's like our main area where everything's kind of just flowing into and we can clear the dashboard kind of thing. But in there, it says, did those crews get pictures or not? And that is a mandatory requirement of our crews or they don't get paid.
Yeah.
So in the past, it's like, well, they're saying, hey, we can't come tomorrow unless we get paid. And then at the same time, you're like, but you didn't do your job. And then they're like, looks like we ain't coming tomorrow because they feel like they have leverage there. You know what I mean? Because you kind of need them. But not saying that's with everybody. But with it, when you look at the pipeline of your crew, it's not just one component. You have to look at everything they touch from resources when they're on the site. What do you do for your houses? Oh, you do this little sketch thing? No, that is horrible. What if they lose the sketch? What if the top blows off when they're flying down the road and you taped it to the top? What if it's in a little sleeve or whatever? You have to think about every process everywhere. And it's like with ours is you can run it in offline mode. So what that means is if you don't have internet, you can still, if you got that page open, you can upload it. And it uploads even over like really, really small, like 3G LTE. Like basically you're in
nowhere, like I just got this phone from the 7-Eleven.
Right.
It's not a burner phone, it's a temporary phone.
I could show you some things, but even how we pay them, I use it as a present and I wrap the present and then I chunk it out and then I tag it when I pay them and it shows on the tag of how I paid them. I mean, just really cool creative stuff you can mess with. But I would just say with that, so I don't go down a deep rabbit hole.
No, you already been 30 minutes. Well, I'm cutting you off, dog. You've been way too long on the answer to this question. Let's go through a couple of these and then we'll see if we can get some. So the dude was asking this one question like 30 minutes ago. Have you tried building the payroll component into Crystal yet? And then he said he's canceling HubSpot, Square, SEMrush, etc. But the coding from SaaS to proprietary side has been challenging. I'm not sure about that. And then, employee data tracking, we're building that in. But the payroll side and compliance is tough. And then homeboy just said, Mastiff just said, just getting them to record mileage and start time and end time plus photos has been a real issue. That's so true. That's so true. All that stuff. And I will say to you, Mass, you might have a big company like Murphy has, or you might just be some small potato situation like me and Laura. But either way, we pay on a incremental basis. So every bulb or every foot or everything has multiple values. So we charge the customer this is what it truly costs, this is what the labor cost. So as we go through and say it's 180 bulbs and this many strands of mini lights and this wreath and this bow and this, everything has an increment. So when it goes into the guys complete it, then it automatically does their payroll for them. And it automatically does the final invoice that we need. And everything automatically works together because every increment has its own, this is payroll, this is this. So when it's finished, that's how we do it. And I can show you that one like July 1st when we roll it out for you. But Murphy's got he pays people by the hour, so it's different.
Well, I have every way you could pay somebody. Mm-hmm. So the thing is like with that question is about where's your friction point with it. So like I said, you pay people through QuickBooks. You can type that in and you can do 1099s and all that. So it's like you were saying, he was saying mileage. So it's you have to put it in one place. That, like, do you have an iPad up on their dashboard that they are mounted in their trucks or something? Like, you have to break down the processes and then find the real true friction point of what your problem is. And you can easily build a local folder to plug into your website, even as like an employee portal, and they go and hit those things and it ties into your jobs. You can even do that type of stuff. But where is the friction point is the question. It's too broad of a question to kind of answer.
All right. Well, look, we're already 55 minutes into it and still haven't even seen the first thing.
I'm showing that at the end, Ron.
And we are at the end. I almost the music's about to kick us off the stage.
Okay. You just want to see.
Yeah, everybody wants to see it. It's like, you make me wait an hour. Come on, Joey. It's like,
but if I show you, it's not gonna do anything for anybody. They're like, oh, that seems cool. It's like, well,
it
what
did something for me.
Where's the? Oh my God. See.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, I'm getting kicked off of my own show.
I don't mind the explanation because he doesn't explain to me what you're doing.
Yeah, no. She's like, you guys are going to be going for hours.
But that's
like,
the thing
1 hour into it, I haven't even started yet.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though, is this shiny thing that you're looking at, this nice vehicle, this spaceship. Ooh, I'm trying to say how you propel yourself. Like, don't worry about this nice looking container that I made of an operating system. I want you to understand the nuts and the bolts and the hydraulics and everything involved, because that's how you're going to be able to change your business, is those friction points. You identify the problem and come up with a solution. AI can help you come up with that solution really easily. Like, you should confide in AI. There's no human, like a mentor. Your AI is your mentor now, and you just need to start doing the right things to use it. So how you're using AI is another topic, right? How are you going to?
Hopefully it ain't that Claude AI chat.
Well, that's the thing is Claude is chat, cowork, and code. And it's like, well, which are you using? I'm using Claude Code. So you're not going to be able to build an operating system. You can maybe do some other little things, but you're kind of using a tool and you're trying to paint a picture. And the only way you're going to do it is become a developer and code. But you can just ask it what to do next and you get stuck. What are 12 things I can do to improve it? Here's kind of what I want to do. And it'll make a whole list and it'll start checking it off for you and it'll start running with you. But if you don't get set up that way and you're just making, pictures, images, and kind of still operating in old systems, that's the other thing is your legacy model. This is what I'll say is Murphy Christmas sighting. The only thing I took from it back in February, like it was like late February when I really hit this hard, is the only thing I took from it was data. Everything else from the ground up, our website, our inventory, stock, everything, I nuked it. I wiped it off the map. So that's what you have to do with those legacy models. You cannot just patch this thing together. What you do is you put AI into a prison is what happens. So you need to demolish everything and start from the ground up. And then once you start architecting and building it from the ground up, you're going to build it the way you want it. And like I said, for somebody starting out, you need to go get customers is what you need to do, right? But people who are like $500,000 and above, you're going to be able to just do some amazing things. Like we have Hunt Down, Block Captain. We have these certain things that these agents that trigger each other that just almost is like, I even told Gracie that it's going to be like we wipe the whole DFW area. That's our service area, 4th biggest metroplex in the United States. It's a massive area, but we're going to it's not just how long would it take you to hunt down the market? Well, I can go do that, or I can build an operating system. And then 3 months later, it seems like I'm not getting any work done, but 3 months later, I'm just, and then I'm like, okay, what next market? Now I have this spaceship that I can fly to each market that I want to and just literally contact everybody.
All right, Laura, you drive. Go ahead.
Okay, so what's next? What do you need?
Well,
to tell
Murphy,
us
we're
about
just
this
trying to
part
get him to
next?
show his website. He just won't do it. He just won't do it.
But it's interesting because
Come on,
you need to know what he got the. Are you doing that?
Yeah, it's Murphy with the Joe Biden stuff. Yeah.
Anyway, as you were.
He going to jail like a mother.
Anyway, go ahead.
So what's the next part that you need to show us about the build?
Before
Unpack
we
your box.
see the build.
He's unpacking the box.
He's doing the preliminary. Before I blow your mind, let me give you a little, embrace yourself.
Yeah.
Put your seatbelt on. You're about to get into a crash.
Yeah. So I'm looking through different things because I'm trying to, what can really help somebody is when you start to, I think what's really overwhelming for people with AI is like, the moment, like with somebody who uses AI, they know the exact moment when they're just like, oh man. Like I looked at Gracie and I says, there's something here and I'm not going to stop. Like I looked at her and I said that and she's like, what? Kind of taken aback because it's like, I found like a treasure map basically. And it showed and it showed me things, but I basically is, do you want to be a developer is the other thing. What kind of business do you want? So you can have a lifestyle business. That's where it kind of aids into your lifestyle and you may have one employee or something like that. But really it's to make your lifestyle better. And that's the end of it. Or do you aspire more? Do you want a team of people? You see all these people online with trucks and all this stuff. Doesn't mean they're more profitable than you. Just means they have a bigger operation with lower margins. So when you look at it, it's like, well, what kind of business do you have or want? And then from there is when you scale it, now with this AI thing is, I'm going to use AI to hyperscale. And that's where you go straight vertical. And that's what I feel like we're doing over here with Murphy Christmas Lighting is we have our own operating system and that's that hammer wiping DFW. So I think it's time for us to do that and make it that way. And then the actual technology is there. So you have to ask yourself like with that, I'm not sure who asked that payroll thing and about crew stuff is like, what exactly truthfully is your problem? And then do you really, really need to have an operating system or do you just need an application that ties into like working alongside Jobber and Zapier and everything else and you want to just flow a little bit better until you get to an operating system? You kind of have to understand where you are to know where you're going to go and then what tools you should use for AI. I will say probably at the end of this year, I will probably spend $50 on my tech stack. $50, I will die down AI to where I'm not going to need developer. Like I don't need AI Ultra with Google or Claude Code at the highest levels. I need that right now because I need a lot of tokens to develop and build a massive spaceship. Once I get that, die it down. And plus tokens are going to get cheaper. So it's going to be even easier to create these things, but you have to have that recursive flywheel. You have to unless you do that, you're still in applications. You're still all over the place. And so everything that I see from everywhere that everybody's putting out, I don't see anybody trying to build a flywheel.
You're the only one. But like when you said they get smarter, they also get dumber, like Claude. Like when you and I were talking about this yesterday, it's like, all right, well, you've done enough today. Let's just go ahead and take the rest of the day off and get some sleep and shit. I was like, what? Man, if you talk to anyone in my company like that, I'd be so mad. I'd be trying to get a lawsuit on your ass. I mean, that's a cancer to the business, telling people to stop working and that.
But it's dangerous. Just because there's a cliff, you don't have to jump off it. You I don't like that.
It's what you said. It's the recursive self-healing flywheel. It's like you start telling it, look, I just need a good explanation to tell my boss that that's not my department and I just need to leave and I've accomplished enough so I couldn't be leaving today, even though it's only 2:30 because it's saying you did a lot tonight. It's like 2:30 outside. You've done a lot tonight. Let's get a rest. And it's like that kind of stuff that Claude Chat says, and you'll see Claude Code do it also. You can tell it lives in an office and it lives in big offices where this kind of dysfunction from people working at a company are pouring this shit into it, and it's that recursive loop and it's learning this bad behavior that
I will say like, okay,
am I right?
Maybe, but here's the thing. This is what I would ask too, is that, so like, I know that it'll say, hey, this is going to take half a day to do this build out. And then I get it done in an hour. And it thinks I've been working for 6 hours. And I haven't been with it it's like, you haven't slept in 48 hours. You understand that like maybe you're not fully functioning. I think that's a good thing because it goes into that personal life balance type thing. But the problem is it is computing so fast. It doesn't understand its numbers as far as the time it put into it. And the other thing is, like I said, hey, I'll tell it, I got 3 more hours before I'm going to go to bed. I don't want to get into like a massive
telling
build.
me to stop telling me to quit.
And you can tell it that, and you can put it in your files. You have to,
because the son of a bitch will start telling you to quit and stop being more productive and shit. And I'm like,
is that going to stop you though, Ron? Is it going to stop you?
No, it's not that. It's like you are
It
a
ain't gonna stop you.
computer. You know, what my job is to say, come on, let's do some more. Your job is to say, nah, man, I've had enough. I'm done for the day. Like, all right, then that sounds cool with me. But you're a computer. What the hell are you suggesting for me to take a break for? I mean, that kind of stuff. It's like you've been in the office too much. It's about, I can't do this and I can't do that. Let me push back on this great idea you have that you're already doing. But since I just try it with that, let me push back because that's not a good idea. It's like, dude, no wonder these big businesses can't get moving with shit like this in the office. It's literally a cancer, in my opinion.
You've already said that twice.
I know. I was driving it home. I was
There's
driving
nothing
it
drive
home.
home.
So
Let's
Joey
talk
says, you know
about-
what? Shut him up and let me just show this thing he's been asking
Let's
about.
talk about Joey's spaceship and what Joey decided to.
I'll ramp it up for you,
his-
Ron. I'll get you in the driver's seat of this spaceship in here in a minute. Hold on.
Yeah.
So with it, I'm gonna say two things, and then I'll show a little of my operating system. I can't show all of it. We're being here for like 5 days,
Yeah.
but I'll show features of it. And what I did is I built a demo. So what you're going to be looking at is fake data. And also, if I upload a photo or something, it may not save it just because it's fake data. Our system's running beautifully in it, but it's massive. So like you could see everything everywhere. And then I can go over little choke points that I hit of like to bridge those gaps, like the jobber thing. I put a free GitHub repo out there for a Puppeteer script to pull those off, which is great for people. So with this is, I do want to say two things, and then I'll dive into it, is that when I looked at Christmas lighting, is that you just want to play with toys, Ron. So with it is that is
say one thing real quick, like an hour and 20 minutes later. Like, all right, let's say something real quick.
So this what I feel like with Christmas lighting is when I try to boil it down to like, what exactly are we doing here with the processes and everything. I think it's really important once you really understand, like you say your why, Ron, and everything is like, you could say your why, what's the customer's why are we as a company, why is this an employee? You should understand it, but you should understand like where you're at and what you're doing. And so like with Christmas lighting, if I sold Christmas lights or I sold, a different variation, soccer ball, landscape lighting we do and stuff, what am I trying to really sell? And when I put myself in the customer's shoes, myself, when I buy things and everything, and what's the most important thing to me and where would I spend the most money? Red carpet, white glove service, charge $15 a foot, but there's not saying what you need to exactly do to do that. Yeah. And when you boil it down, what you're really trying to sell, how to get that $15 a foot is what you're really doing is selling emotional relief. That is it. That's what I boiled it down to. So what happens is when you provide a service, they're paying, like, why do I pay for my lawn? Why do I pay for this? Why would I pay for somebody to come into my house as a chef and cook for me? Why? And once I do that, it's the value, which is money. And it's like, I make this much money. It's not worth it to me. Right. But when you buy it and somebody takes care of it for you, what feeling do you have? Why do people give people 5-star reviews? Is because I had this chaotic thing. Oh, Christmas, It's so busy. I got to get the presents. I got to do this. What can I delegate? What kind of service? And when you make that service so easy and seamless, which is what we did, and we broke down each component, it instantaneous emotional relief. That's where they tip. They're more likely to tip. When you have a good meal, what do you feel? You feel good. So you're going to tip better. They had a good experience. They don't do it. You feel bad. I don't have emotional relief. That seemed like it was too pricey, right? So I want to say to like even the new guys and stuff like that get started in this business, you'll make money, but when you can solve the problem with emotional relief, it solves a lot of problems. And then the last thing I'll say is that with this AI stuff is you can build a digital twin. So that's the other thing is everybody in Christmas, you have an off season, which is great. But the digital twin, you can build this thing off to the side. You can start building your own database. This system is running because you need to bring money in, right? You have a year-round business or whatever, you do pressure washing, everything else. Right now, ours is a slow data. Like I can migrate data and not lose data and stuff. So what happens is you can build that digital twin and build it up and then test it. I mean, put it through the ringer and test these AI agents, run certain things through it, manually put things in and try it. So like you say, how confident do you feel about running this in the season? I mean, if you look at every engineer, do they like when they go up into space with all this SpaceX stuff and, orbital clouds and stuff like that, they've been testing this stuff with like a couple satellites up there. And then they say this is a big thing and then they make it a big thing, right? You need to do that same thing with your company is try it. Don't idolize your business, kind of test it, kind of make things happen. That's why Chelsea calls me the mad scientist and stuff. but go ahead and just start building it and make a digital twin off to the side. And when you're ready, kill off Jobber. That's why that post is so impactful and nobody commenting it, right? Nobody knows who I am. And it's like, the reason why that post is so impactful, I put a GitHub repo for you to pull your PDFs, one of the walled garden hardest things to get out of Jobber. And I put it for free. And I say Jobber is cooked. That's like, to get to that stage took months to get to. So people may look at it, but it's like, wow, that is very powerful. But I've been building a digital twin the entire time while I've been running my company. So I wanted to let everybody know is kind of understand what you're selling, what you're doing, where you're at, and then also understand that you can get started here. You can start building it, but just don't stop, because anybody who does do it, there's one e-commerce company that 76 times their business by creating a flywheel. 76 times. Imagine having $1 million business and then you have a $76 million business. It's just crazy. So we'll get with what Ron wants, which is showing the thing and everything.
Dude, I had so many people, but they're already off now. They already gave up.
It don't matter. They'll watch it later.
I want Laura to see it, but I know she said an hour and a half is all I'm giving you guys. So you got 10 minutes to show me this hour-long presentation.
I have it on the screen. You can share it, Ron.
All right, let's go. Let's go. All right, so first thing we're going to look at is look at this thing right here. Did you see that mastermind tip of the day I did about building a bigger boat?
Me? No.
This sounds like a no. This sounds like a no. Whoops. I'm going to GoDaddy for some strange reason. Let me see here. Give me 1 second.
Like, what's going on here?
I just figure if he's going to slow me down, I'm going to slow him down a little bit too. I thought we were going to
open the spaceship.
No, we're going to, but I just want to show him one little thing for 20 minutes.
What is it that Murphy has replaced?
It's up there. He can hit it anytime.
No. Now we're waiting on Ron. Whatever. What's his name? Let me see.
Yeah, brought to our sponsors.
Yeah, the BPB is 60 beats per minute. Here it is right here. All right, so what do we got here? We got.
Come on, babe, land the plane.
Would you just give me?
I mean, if he had a spaceship, he'd already be there,
No, if I had a spaceship, I'm just looking at fastest book. Give me 1 second. Let me share this screen.
Like, are you serious right now?
No, just give me 1 second. I want to talk about me for a second. I want to talk about my. Yeah, this one right here, the Build a Bigger Boat. It's like 40 days and 40 nights. That's like the Christmas business, right? Laura, post that he's actually going to show it now so people can start tuning back in. Post that on Facebook. Anyway, so build a bigger boat. The rain is coming. The story of Noah, it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, and to some people, rain looked like disaster. But the man who had prepared that same rain lifted the boat. And then this goes on to kind of say like about how like you're like overflowing with blessings and it's just more than you can handle. So build a bigger boat because the rain is definitely coming. It could be like blessings or you could be drowning in it. And with the AI systems that you build, it's like building a bigger boat. I mean, I say it all the time. I don't know if the story of Noah is like the exact same, but the 40 days and the 40 nights of nonstop blessings coming so fast that most people can't contain it is very similar to that. And what I seen that you had was groundbreaking, and that's what I've been just kind of bugging you about. Come on, man, let me see the damn thing, man. Come on, man. But anyway, here it is right here, everybody. It's the Murphy Master Dashboard, right?
Yeah, there's a lot in here, but I collapsed everything down, and I'll just show a couple of features. But this is fake. Like I even put S4 King of Strings logo in there, but I can make anybody's company fill out a form, and it'll basically like put all of your information and your logos, everything of what it looks like.
Bad boy. Yeah, maximize it. Let's see it. Oh yeah,
I have to cut you off.
There you go.
But I'll show you some really cool features of kind of opens your mind of like what you can do and how it strings together, because I have a lot of stuff in here. But one of the coolest ones is when I looked at the quoting process is how to jobber line items and everything else is it's not exactly the same with Christmas. It's so many SKUs and everything else to where we build things out and then we make presets. So you can see here is like, these are just PNG files of just clip art stuff that we put in here. But what this does is this pulls this from our actual inventory in our warehouse. Mm-hmm. So again, this is fake data. None of this is real, but
you
with
showed
it is
me the real stuff.
Yeah, you've seen.
It was like Murphy's already done like $2 million this year. I was like, man, what, dude? It's like not even June yet. What the fuck?
but you can see that like how much it cost, and then there's 240 available. So when you go to design a property, you're like, well, what do we have in our warehouse? And then you can start putting it in, and each 8, and then it puts it on there. It changes the colors. You don't have it, you can line it out. But then it gives a cost of like what it is for this wreath, like our cost or something. And so that would go into your unit cost. And so what this is you build out all these different kind of wreaths. And then once we go to build out a quote, you actually build out the project and into the areas and everything. And you can just hit these things and add these things in. So they always say the same terminology everywhere. And then that is deterministic routing, and that's grounding your knowledge there. So what really gets really cool about this stuff is we built every different kind of application. So if you see here, we even did like ribbon. So we got ornaments in there too right now, but it's like the garland, the ribbon, we did bear pole, we did even a bridge. So because we have poles on bridges, right. You have regular columns. You want to do just regular lights on the column, you can do. Also, when you increase the sections of lights, everybody knows that there's too many lights on a section of garland. So if you change the colors, it'll actually restrict you to those parameters where you're not putting like 20 mini lights on a section of garland. So it keeps it grounded as much as possible. And you just build these presets. This is just a fun play area to build presets. But with this is one of the coolest ones. You can do cool things like this, like even a Santa, and it just flies around and you're like building. I mean, you just make it whatever you want. But with this we have tower trees, and when we do tower trees, these are Majestic Mountain Pine from Christmas Designers. And what happens is you can build the tower tree. So like what I don't get is like, why don't they have stuff like this on their website? And the reason why is how many branches, how much do I need to prep? And then there's 3 different branches. Each one has a different ornament type. That way, when you go around, it's yellow, green, blue, yellow, green, blue. And the way to see this is down here. So we spray paint each frame, and then as we put these branches in, it goes yellow, green, blue, yellow, green, blue, and we have them on racks, and we just we just literally just throw them up there, and I need a yellow, I need a green, I need a blue. And that way, when you can install this really quickly. But what this does is, let's say we get another tower tree, I can put the ornaments and pick them from what I have or order them, and it'll tell you exactly how many ornaments. What this does is it's great for the warehouse to prep because it has everything everywhere. And then how much it costs, you can see that if I add more and more layers, then it'll be like, hey, it's this much money. Well, they don't have that much money. Maybe I need to take out a layer or something like that. So I think when you build out and gamify your business a little bit, this bridges into the build out of a project builder. So what a project builder is, I'm going to be talking a lot. So the project builder, all fake data, this is not real stuff. Castle Hills doesn't really exist, I don't think, is what happens is you go here and you can load those presets. So then when you load them, you're just quickly making it. And then you can also attach it to the waypoint of the project. So like, hey, I have that garland on this waypoint. Also, your waypoints are all on one map, and you can toggle them and do different things like residential, commercial. You can tag them different colors. This lets me know blue is picks. It needs a better pick. I found out 80% of our picks are just trash we can't use for marketing from crews and everything. So it goes into like, well, if I'm in the area, I'll swing by and get a good picture. So we always have good pictures of our projects. All these are different AI agents, including, here's a little fun little thing. But I can measure. So everything that you think about in your business, like Google, I go to Google and I use their measuring tool. I also have that here. I also have this view. I can lighten it up. I can darken it. I can do how many miles out when I search for an address. I want to stay within a certain vicinity of a service area. I did there. Also, a big one is to hyper jump between things. So here is like, okay, I want to see the client's portal. So here is where they log in. And it's probably not going to do it because it's a demo, but everything, like how does your customer put in a maintenance? Mm-hmm. Well, with this is they would hit and open their portal, which they're already authenticated because they're logged in with their Google on their phone anyways. So right when they hit that link, they can make it an app on their phone if they want it. It says Christmas lights. They hit that, it automatically opens up to a side panel like that looks a refined version of this. But what happens, they could pay their bills there. They can do everything from there, including putting in maintenance. So when you do a maintenance, is like when you hit this button here, this is what I call the point of decoration display. Hopefully it does it. Nope, it's timing out. So what happens is it has these POD statuses like this. And what it does is you can just hit that waypoint, and then you can hit, oh, I need to pick a scroll chewed through something. You can do they can do something. They can upload a picture for you and everything. But when you look at your process of like how a client puts in maintenance, look at your current way, and then limit those button clicks and steps for them to do that. And when I have it is you do this, you hit this waypoint, and then you just say, hey, my light is out. Or maybe they know a GFI is tripped. I don't know why they would that. They could just push the button. Right. But maybe they push the button and it keeps tripping, right? And it's like, it lets you know, but at the same time, what this really does is real-time sensing. So I could be right here, go servicing this property. There's a problem with it. I fix it, and I go down to this property. And then by the time I get here, this is real time. This will glow. So they see, like they hit it, and then it says, oh, you have another one in this area. So when I get done with the area, I look and it's cleared in real time. No customers truly have a complaint. You're not going to like a request form on Jobber trying to see there. And so I think it's.
Oh, you know, what'd be cool is like, you're like, all right, go home. Cause like everywhere you go, you're just hitting cause you don't know where you are. So you're like home. And then all of a sudden you're going home and it's like, make a right turn. You're like, I don't make a right. Like all of a sudden it directs you back to this trouble call through Google Maps and it does a reroute. And you're like, what the hell? I was just at this house. You're like, oh, there's a trouble call there. You know, just follow the little blue dot and I'll take you, this crystal will take you anywhere you need to go.
And so
that would be cool integration, right?
But that's, you imagine it can do
reroute,
it. You know
reroute, yeah.
Reroute. And so this is also, you know, when we plan projects out, Google Street View is big. So hopefully if it's the demo, hopefully it does it. But it takes you right to the Street View. So I can take this. Oh, it probably doesn't show it to you because I'm only sharing this screen. But it did open Google Street View, but I'm only
I know,
sharing
we were
this
watching
one.
it. We were watching it.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Okay, so then it takes it here, and then I can just screenshot it, and then I can add it as a photo to the property right here. So that way when I hit the waypoint, it still has the photo. If I hit details, it's not doing it because probably the demo thing is when I hit into there, it shows a timeline also of the property, which is right here. So when I have all those logs, it'll have, if I went and took a picture, if they put a request in, anything, every log everywhere is in there so they can see it, and it's not all in one place. So
they
really
called
cool
for
feature.
Service. You came back for the service 5 days later. I mean, all the stuff, all the logs,
everything in there. But that's just in the map view, you know. And so there's a lot of features in here, even like how you price things, your quote terms that you have there, but how you price, and then also it takes the information. This is why I talk about like AI agents. What it really does is, let's say you charge this. What I did is a low, medium, and high based on risk, because that's how we bid. Is like if I do a 48-inch wreath and it's on a 1-story, I maybe like cut a little bit off. But if it's like really high up, I need a lift. Of course, it's a high risk. We're going to charge more money for that. So you could put features in there for that, but then, and it'll show you your margins and stuff. But with it is also that it learns of like, hey, I sold this at this price. And that means like, because you can manually tweak things, right? Like, hey, I'm going to bump this up to get it within budget. But then what you convert it at and what that line item of C9 roofline or your presets or components of what they're really selling for. And then it can suggest, hey, you need to raise it 13%. You're actually converting higher than that. So you need to change your price book. That can be automated where once I give it enough trust and it sees that, where I always want it to do the best price based on what we're seeing, based on our material costs, based on everything. That stuff takes a lot of time to truly know.
Yeah, so, dude, it's crazy. Hey, you ready for a question?
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. You know, Michael Simmons.
Yeah.
He got a couple questions for your ass. Let me see here.
Like right now, I'm even doing radar to where it does when storms come through. It even shows the lightning strikes and everything. But it'll slide our entire schedule, based on weather. And so I have certain parameters about heat index. If it's good to work, it says like, hey, it's too hot, or do not work during this time out in the field if you don't have to. Again, don't tell me what to do, but I do want to know, hey, it's about to rain, and it's about to rain at this time, 2 to 6. That doesn't really affect us, right? But the agents are seeing this, and they're moving your schedule. When they move your schedule, it moves everything together.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And Mike said, are you trying to make business owners build their own business platform, as you call, I'm sure there's air quotes there, but they're in parentheses, it's like an operating system? Or are you trying to get business owners essentially to license or subscribe to your business platform in a white label form?
Yeah, I'm not trying to do the white label thing. So like software as a service type thing, I don't see that of being value. When I look at all the market and like, I'm not trying to be a jobber, just like maybe a hyper, like this is for jobber type thing. What I would like to do, and that's why I made bizwrap.ai is to help companies along that journey to build their operating system. There's certain components and things to help speed somebody up that I think has a lot of value. Like if I've been spending 4 months on this, if I had to start over and start from the ground up, knowing what I know right now, I can maybe do it in like a month and a half, maybe. And I think that somebody would pay for that service. That's why I'm offering it, but it requires a lot of me to be involved in it. So it's not like an automated thing. That's what like software as a service type thing is everybody buys subscriptions, all this stuff. What I would like to do is work with companies that are trying to scale, hyperscale, and have the need for an operating system.
Sweet.
That's what I'm more focused on.
He got another question too, because that first one didn't cover it all. When you reference your own database, what is your database and the server platform being used?
So I'll tell you the stack of just what I use is I have
Versal?
No, not Versal. I'm mainly on like the Google thing. So I use Firebase and Firestore. So it's uses Firebase, Firestore. And then I use Cloudflare for like my DNS records and all that type of stuff and then I back up to GitHub on a private thing. So it's really simple as that. I boiled it down to that. But really when you have your database, you can use Supabase. You know what I mean? You can use all these different features, but understand like what it is. Are you putting all your stuff to where you build? And I say operating system because that's what it is. It's independent from anything, anywhere. It's its own database. And I've made it to where I can see it as a human being and I can touch buttons and hit things, but it's really running through Firebase and the Firestore right there. And then Cloudflare is where I keep all my records and stuff.
Wow, that's good.
For
Good
DNS
knowledge.
records. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get you back.
But you can use like all these other ones, but that's my stack. That's just what I choose. You can choose different ones.
All right, let's get you back in there if I can see how to do it. Okay, back to live action.
So I brought up I don't know how much it'll show in here, but like with the schedule, what I mean by sliding is like I've viewed Christmas lighting as everything is stemmed around the install, and you may have like at an event, you may have like a tree lighting ceremony or something like that. You know what I mean? And with us is we do weekly wellness checks. So we check up on our commercial properties weekly. But if we do a maintenance and there's an actual problem, it should keep it spaced a week apart. So this is kind of interrupts the flow. Well, all this site visits like you have in Jobber would have to change. You know what I mean? Or you would have to be really mindful about it. Right. Even when you go to install, you have to prepare for the installation, check all this stuff, make sure it's right, stage it for the crews. So when do you do that? So in here, it shows like 2 days before we prep, then you go do the install, and then now's the clock where it's live and it starts moving. And so with it is like, let's say it rained, it would move it and it would slide it like this. And it says, oh, I'll just push it tomorrow. And if you could see all the dates, all the dates slide. So really it's like, hey, it's raining. Do you want to push this? I don't give it full throttle. Remember that trust dial that I was talking about? I don't dial that thing all the way up. And then it just goes and and I say, no, I don't want to do that. We're good on rain. You don't need a slide. Or it's saying, hey, there's a tsunami coming at you. You want to definitely move all this stuff. Then I just say, yeah, we can move it. And it moves the entire schedule just all the way across the board. It's that stuff that's why it's going to speed me up in season.
But it was more than that, Laura. It was more than that. So like when he moved the schedule to this date that he's going to do it instead of the date it was on, he had like this notification that's 3 days before that goes to the warehouse saying in 3 days we're going to be doing this project, so get it all ready.
That's great.
And it moved them both, like the warehouse notification and the job. Shit was crazy.
So you've essentially taken everything and put it into this.
You never have to leave this dashboard.
Even text and phone calls come through on your clients in one, even internal notes you put. it's all within here. The registry, it doesn't show it because it's not an actual client, but all the hyper like dashboard buttons go here where I can go to their employee portal, the warehouse, anything like that. This right here is a pretty simple integration, but you know how Jobber has like a phone number that is their own number? That's Twilio or whatever it's called. And you can buy that and I can get it, but I put my own number so that way when people text me, it comes through on this dashboard. And I can control any email that comes through the company
number,
emails.
not some number. If you quit Jobber, you lose the damn number.
Right. It's my own number. Everything looks like I'm really talking to him. Like I'm really, and I am most of the time anyways. But emailing them back, text message, it shows like they're what it is. All that's been tested. It's been done. The one really cool thing, this was the first AI agent I built. And we call it Fireback just to get you guys' brain on like, okay, how would this work for me? Everybody says lead generation, right? And when you look at it, it's like, well, how do you target lead generation and new clients? What about attacking your old clients? What about clients that moved away? And how much money did each one do? Why did they leave? All this stuff. Well, I can do it where there's an active client, and this is on the map too, to where I can throttle up different areas of saying, okay, every active client I have, I want to do 4 miles from that waypoint outward, like a zone, right? And it's on the map as a blue circle. And what happens is I throttle up to there. It's saying that revenue that you've had in the past, like they were a client in 2023, the lifetime sales of that client, they're only 0.3 miles from your active client. That may be somebody you want to circle back to, right? Because it's a tight routes is what you want. It's a short windows. Or did they move away? We'll get rid of it. Did you contact them? It makes it a cloud emoji saying you've contacted them in there. You want to email them? Do you want to call them? It'll just, you hit these and it'll go to the inbox form and you can just start typing it up. But to see like how much money you're leaving on the table on like maybe even, because when I looked at it was your clients, you got a lead and basically it's a dead lead. They didn't give you any money. You may have quoted them, but they didn't want your service. Maybe they thought Christmas lights was $1.
They couldn't afford your service.
They couldn't afford it.
Show ass with your minimums.
Well, you know, I mean, so with it is when you go
Murphy
to
said he had a $10,000 minimum for residential. Can you believe that?
That's awesome.
That's so crazy.
I can't decorate. Look at this area, dude. This is the DFW. It is massive. I can't do all these.
$10,000 minimum.
Can't do it.
Like,
There's
what?
people with it. Or do you waste your time?
Yeah, he's justified, right? He's justified.
I mean, look at one 3D display. Like a deer's like $2,500 for a commercial deer. It's like what?
True.
So it's like 10,000 is really not that much money when you got people living in Frisco, Stonebriar, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So with it is I wanted to show you the block captain.
Prosper.
That's what Prosper's up here. The block captain, when I toggled it on, you can see that it does based on the vicinity of what the skulls and the fire. So it's saying, hey, these exist here. They were maybe clients that you had or something like that, and you should go re-engage with them. They gave you money. So it's just an easy way for marketing wise to maybe send a campaign out to say, hey, we missed you or something like that. How much could we just scoop up? That's the low hanging fruit of it all, right? Then we have the hunt down. This is where you can go through here and you can hit hotels, all of the hotels in Fort Worth, Chick-fil-A's, venues, zoos, shopping centers. And what it does is it pulls up, it hunts it, and it's probably not going to pull too much or anything because we're in a database. We're on the demo. But basically, it'll pop open in Google all of the hotels within Fort Worth. Then you can tag those and go hunt them down. And then you can go do your hunt down. So that's why when you see these videos that I put out, those videos too, what's crazy about it is that I just asked it, hey, you as an AI agent, your functionality, the software, everything, make a prompt for a video and then send it to Google Flow and make it. And what that does, I don't prompt it anything else than that. And what that does is it thinks that that's what it's doing for me. So I don't like imagine that a wolf is above in the mountains and everything. That's what it thinks it's doing in this interface, which I think is just crazy. So when you have all these things tied together, you can kind of hunt differently inside your market, log things. I mean, Jobber just can't do this. You know what I mean? So that's why it kind of broke for me.
Well, they obviously could. If you did it, they could. It's just they don't see the point of
But
it.
how do you monetize it? That's why Michael Simmons was saying about like, do you want this as software as a service or something? I don't want to create a team and all these people and storing their data and everything else. I'd rather work through and help businesses that have a hard time. Like, where do I start with AI? If it's hard for you, maybe you get involved with an AI consultant and AI builder. Like maybe you just go to what this is opening to is other industries within the AI as like tech, right? Like if somebody can sit here on a computer, learn all this stuff, and can a Christmas light person go reach out to one of those people that don't do it and they help you? Absolutely they could, because they understand the tech side. So it's finding out what you're not good at, what maybe I don't have enough time for. Like if you think about it, Christmas in July, how much time do you really have to build a system like this and make it and put it to work? With no help, you're not going to get it done. It just, even for me, where I was at in February, as much knowledge as I knew, I couldn't have gotten it done, So I'm just extending myself a little bit. I also put up on bizwrap.ai. I did I'm going to have a wait list. And what that is you can go sign up for it. And I'm thinking July 30th and 31st, putting on a 2-day workshop to kind of work through this stuff. And you could buy a ticket to that event. Whatever it is of what we charge and how many people want to be involved into it, that's what the wait list is for. I also am going to validate you to make sure that this is the right fit for you and you're not going to waste your money. Like this just goes way over your head. But there are a lot of people who are really doing this right now and kind of having a hard time doing it, to where it's like, well, where could I go to do that? And I see people going to AI summits or workshops and I'm like, what you walk away with? And they're like, I made a video. And I'm like, that does nothing for you, except you can make it just sped you up on making videos, but that's not a real, like, how do I drive growth and scale my company? So if anybody's interested in that, you can go there and sign up bizwrap.ai and go book the workshop. And all it is to get on a wait list, and then I'll engage with you to see if it's a good fit for you. And if it is, then it's going to be pretty powerful. I would definitely pay even with me, I looked at, if somebody were to build this for me, I mean, easily $75,000 I would pay somebody to build this for me, because of how fast I run now, how everything is tied together.
Let me see that warehouse thing. Did you get a demo for that?
Yeah, I think I can hit it. So I have a 2D view of the warehouse, but then I also have a spatial view. So I don't know why that broken text is there, but with it is, these are all hotspots. And basically in our inventory management system, I can type in a thing like stakes, like yard stakes. Oops. And then it puts up on the heat map and I can hit it, and then it opens it up. And then it says, hey, you have 40 pathway light stakes that are committed to this property. Then I can hit this property. I can jump to that property. There's the card of the property. I can jump back to the warehouse. I can go to the builder. Now do you see how I'm hyper jumping everywhere?
Yeah.
That's the spaceship side of it. And so when you can tie everything in and you can go, I don't have to hop between applications. I'm just hopping. That's what the project registry, there's all the KPI stuff. You could see, again, fake data, but your average order ticket, you could put anything up here. What needs to be prepped in the warehouse? That opens up. It has all the stuff that you need, the locations it needs, your commercial properties. This is what it looks like. If I go a little wider, it has like a double view, and then different things that you can hit here and different features. But all these would be activated if everything was like
it was
online.
So cool. It was like, you had this property and it had like 7 or 8 pieces or 7 or 8 different things that need to go. And it's like, you're going to need, this one is in this spot and this one is in that spot. And this other thing is over there on that spot. So like people who just started with you with low competency of how the industry works, or just in general, they could just follow this easy map and find everything in the warehouse, pick, pack, ship. It's like brilliant. But I think there's only bigger companies that even have a warehouse. Most people have it in their garage or in a couple boxes by their desk.
Or their client owns
back
it.
Of their truck, that is the warehouse. Yeah. But if you have an actual warehouse, oh man, this shit's badass.
Yeah, there's no good inventory management system out there for anybody. Like even when you use Fishbowl and everything else, there's no spatial view. There's none of that kind of stuff. It's kind of hard to track stuff all the time, especially if you do distribution, which we sell product. But it was like, this right here is also man hours. I've been talking about profit versus man hour. What's your blended profit versus man hour? Everything gets tracked everywhere. So what happens is like this project, it's the cost, the man hours, it's saying what your profit is and then your gross is. But this is all within, once you know that and it packs that data in, then you know your crew capacity of what they can get done in a day. So then do you set them up for failure? Do you not? Here's the daily view. That's where, I don't know if it has them in here, but they log their hours in here, how many crews, how many workers, the total man hours for that day. And then what happens, that's also if you fill out an application to get hired by us, I can go pull this and I can put your documents, everything. But what's really cool that it does not have here is that gift wrap thing. And so how do I pay my people? Well, they log their hours. I can see how much per hours is on that job site. I think that's important. Even if you do pay for performance, that's cool, but still track how much time is a constant, not a variable. So you have to always be measuring that constant, and the variables you can change. So with it is contractors like to get chunked up into like 3-day increments. I just have all that stuff. It says I need to pay this contractor this amount of money. It could be multiple days. I chunk it up into a package. It looks like a real present, and then I tag it. And when I tag it, it sends money off and says via what, ACH or whatever, however a check, and it has the check number, and that ties into our financials that I'm currently building out. But like I said, financials is a little harder one because you have to do tax stuff, and it's just like
you're like trying to replace what's it called, babe?
QuickBooks is like 20. Yeah, it's so cheap, and it does so much stuff that's where it's like, why would I build all that out? I can just integrate it into QuickBooks, and then that's the only toggle I'm kind of doing.
A year or two to do it, then why not?
But do I want my bank accounts in the same system as this? That's where you kind of maybe do want it separate, Yeah. So this was a really cool feature, but another AI agent to keep saying, hey, your crew is not on track. Your crews are over hours. They're bleeding the clock. It'll tell me that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Someone
I don't need
the
to watch
HOA
it.
president and call the police on your people's, on your immigration.
Re-ing up. I mean, all this stuff is crazy.
Excuse me, sir. Let me see your immigration papers. There's like, man, Joey, what's going on here?
Right. But I'll put this right here, and then I'll just leave it open because we've been talking. Is that when you go to renew contracts in a seasonal business every year, look at how Jobber does it. With this right here, I can even go in and do seasonal rollover, and I can put, hey, market everything. I want to do everybody 5% on residentials, 5%, and it changes every quote in residentials as a new quote. You never have to touch it, and it can automatically do it. I can just tell it, raise all residentials by 5% and create all new quotes.
Dog, do you know how much time it takes Laura? Because she normally does it. I always say I'm going to help, but I don't do it. It takes her like a week to send 600 quotes that we did last year or something. 600. And I'm a commercial and everything.
And then they're like, I want to add.
A week and a half. And then you're like, hey, you forgot to say this new process that we're doing. Remember, that's why we didn't want to do it until we were 100% sure of our process. But now you done sent 100 of them out, and we need to change all of them. But this one, he just pushes a button, and they're all done.
I love that.
It's great. It's one button. That's it. And I'm trying to automate that. So a big
Jobber,
one,
at least you got to push this and then create a duplicate and then change a few things, and then you're good.
Totally.
But every single one.
I may condense some things, but like a takedown schedule. So after you get done with the installations, what do you do? And it's like, well, all the mapping and these clients are near them, and now they're part of that route. And what routes are? No, everything everywhere. And the one thing with the recursive loop, the flywheel part of it, is that it will make it say every year you're in this area at this time, and so it creates my schedules. But then at the end of the year, it's a one button takedown schedule because it's the crew capacity of what they did at an install, and then a percentage of that on takedown. So like a 3D displays, you can quickly pick them up. It was quickly to put out. But if you do like a larger project that takes a lot longer, we can flag it to say, hey, this is going to be 10% of the project, like, because we use a pole and we rip it down. This one's going to be 25% of the project because we have to actually go up and get the wreath. We can't pull it down with a pole or something. So you kind of compartmentalize and you ground all that knowledge. It's in your head. You just need to put it there. And then it learns. And then as it learns, crews puts in notes. It sees these things. Hey, your crew was delayed by 10 minutes because they didn't know the gate code, even though I do have the gate code. They sat there and it tracks them of what they're doing. All this is not to get onto them. It's to see where the weaknesses are. And that's what AI does, is it exposes all the wounds in your company. I'm like a pinball machine. I tear stuff down. In a week, none of this will probably look like this. It'll be even better.
Like,
and that's why I don't want to.
A week ago, it's like, I thought you were smart a week ago. Damn, what I was thinking.
But that's where I don't want to sell software as a service because of all the ideas and things, and you can build. You need to be the creator. You do, and then create an engine that everybody can run around you. You need to create an engine. The only way to do that, like all cylinders firing, is a recursive flywheel that's self-healing. That's the only way to do it. And so if you don't aim for that,
dog.
Yeah.
What was the question I had, Laura?
I don't know. What's the question?
You got a question loaded up, girl. All right, so takedown. So this is like if you're like a professional Christmas light installer, then you know what I'm talking about. If you're just teaching people, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. But anyway, takedown. It's very difficult to start figuring out how you're going to take the lights down on December 27th. You know, or December, maybe it's Christmas or December 24th or somewhere in that neighborhood between January 1st. You're like, okay, shit, we can have fun in Christmas, but you still got all these properties you got to take down. So what's our plan and how we communicate it? And then I start thinking to myself, like, you probably, when you close them down and ask them, hey, what's your color choice and all that shit, you probably should have also asked them, what's your takedown preference? And then it had already been done. But, you know, you prolong that because you have the install part figured out, but you don't have the takedown figured out. But it's one of those, I'll do it later thing. But when you're supposed to be doing it, you're like, shit, I should have already did this. I should have asked them this in the beginning, you know, and then they can just fill out something and say, hey, change of plans. I'm having a party on this or that. But I mean, because it's very difficult to get a hold of 600 people, you know, around Christmas time because they're busy. That's why they hire you. One, it's dangerous. And two, they're busy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's the friction point, right? That's what I've been saying is when you have to like, but that's what I told you before you build, you're like, what's the best one? And I'm like, it's not about the best one. It's like, you really just have to understand what it is. That's what that workshop I'm going to do is to clearly define kind of where things are. And then because you really want to progress forward, but everybody has the same friction points. Trust me, they do. It's just what's your flavor, or maybe you target the market. Like me, I try to do custom big, large displays. I love doing that. I love design. And so I try to do that. But am I going to do like your neighbor 100 feet for, you know, $300 or something, 2-story? Not going to do that in my business. I'm not that type of business now. I used to do that stuff, but we scaled to a certain point to where you needed these things. But there becomes more and more problems as you scale. And those problems, everybody's battling, whether they want to say so or not. And so those problems that you face, that's where you want to be part of a close new community, a group like this podcast. That's what I love Ron doing and coming on, is he's really trying to share some knowledge with you guys that is grounded in his head, and he's doing it in his own operating system. But how do you make your business faster? How do you not trip and fall as much as everybody else? There are really people willing to share it, like my workshop, Ron's podcast, and also everybody's focused on like marketing or supplies. And it kind of bugs me a little bit because it's such a small industry. It really is. Like, you can have more vendors. Like, what are your main vendors though? And who has the best prices? And it's kind of a small group, especially if you don't get into the niche commercial side of things. Like, I'm not doing any ornaments. I'm not doing tower trees. I'm not doing displays. I mean, look at your vendors. So with it is like, when you have all that, why are you so focused on that you're buying something you're going to save a penny or 5 cents off of a bulb, when you would want to buy it from somebody that can back their warranty? You can get product at a decent price, but you need it quick. What if it's not quick? I would pay more money if it wasn't quick. But imagine booking that project and then the person you buy your lights from, and it's like, oh, it's UPS. You know how FedEx and UPS are, but really they really just didn't get it on the truck, and it's still sitting in their warehouse because they don't have good systems. So that's what comes into what I think the next level will be, is everybody will start building systems and everything, but you'll provide where the human part of it will be involved a lot more with the customer. They'll see a lot more of your business to help them more, as much as they want. It's a throttle. So if they really want to be the Chatty Cathy's or something like that, and they have $20,000, that's 100, fine. Talk my head off for an hour. You know what I mean? But I can't do that. I can't talk your head off because I got to be over here. Well, you don't necessarily. So that's a friction point, right? Those things with AI solve that. And what's going to happen is everybody will build systems. But if you don't build it the right way, like if you put your API keys and don't put it in a .env file within your database, and you put it, it'll be public online, bots will scrape it, and then all your data is released of your customers. You had a data leak. right? It can get dangerous, that aspect. That's what the workshop and stuff is about, is how to step appropriately with it. So what I say with that is when you go to build AI and everything else is how far do you want to take it? And if you want to do the operating system and everything else, there will be people who do it the right way and people who do it the wrong way. What do you think is going to happen when your clients get data leaks or the operating system isn't working towards them? It's not favoring them. They're not going to trust your company. So that's what the big thing behind it is if you use AI, you still have to, you're supposed to become more trusted, not less trusted. And it could go the opposite way. It could be a slippery slope there. So that's why you would want to educate yourself as much as possible, reach out to people and do it like, hey, I want to go for this. I don't want to be a lifestyle business. I want to hyperscale my company and I want everything in one place. That's what everybody is saying, but I don't know if that's what everybody wants. And that's why I don't want to offer anything to anybody. I want to help guide them through the processes.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, but at the end of the day, our business is people who wait till the last minute and then they want to get in and they want to be up to speed and they want to be great and they want to start a company.
There's the friction point right there, though.
And
waiting last minute.
But
if you didn't wait last minute, you wouldn't have that problem.
If you have a solution like, hey, you actually can wait till the last minute and you could actually get a website in 2 days and you can get a system and you can have the pricing together.
You can't.
If you could do that, that's what the industry needs. But it's just like,
but that's what they're, but look at their knowledge.
Or is
their
it?
Knowledge isn't grounded.
No.
So then you shove it into if I shoved everybody's knowledge of their company in this database, I bet you it doesn't even show everything because it doesn't know where's your gate codes in Jobber. How is this thing supposed to know your gate codes are in internal notes and attachments? The job stuff, like where is it? And so if you don't have everything grounded, that's what everybody needs to work on first. So you can't just release the spaceship and say, oh, fly the spaceship and everybody waits last minute because your knowledge isn't grounded. You don't have any, like that little data chip you that upload into the matrix. You can't even do that right now. It's too messy. And that's what the choke point is in the companies. Why the bigger companies if I gave this to a giant company 5 times bigger than me, but they have a giant mess of database and they didn't ground their knowledge, it's not going to work. That's why I want to work with people to like ground their knowledge, get them set right, and then you get on that spaceship. And do you know where most of the work is? Grounding the knowledge. So everybody thinks they can just build this real quick. What took me so long? Organizing all. Do you know how many photos? Your photos aren't even named. They're like image 6073. You need to fix those problems first before you can even try to attempt these things. And if you don't want to do that and you're a lifestyle business, but just know people are going to create spaceships, they're going to ground their knowledge, they're going to have all their photos named, and then they're going to have a machine that names the photos for them as they go after that. That's where you want to get to. That's what you're asking, but that's not what you're doing. What you're doing is boring. That's going online and fixing all your photos and okay, I'm ready. How many people are ready?
Right.
That's the real thing. That's why I said I could show this fancy spaceship, but if I try to take it and inject that Trinity, fly this Black Hawk helicopter, you'll just be lobotomized or something. It's just not going to work. You know what I mean? So, but once you understand it, that's the point. That's what the workshop's for. Is like maybe you don't walk away with a working AI agent. That's snake oil. That's smoke. Look through the lens and find out what really. I'm saying that we're going to put the components and pieces together so you can go do your own intellectual property.
Oh, look,
right?
It's Frederick Zimmerman, formerly known as Fred Zimmerman. He said, not me, not me. I don't know what. Yeah. What's up, Fred?
Well, but then Fred pays for, somebody to help him along. That's the thing. If it's not for you, but Fred operates in a machine that is a big engine.
Well,
but is it clunky,
I have a feeling that you have a little bit of jealousy over that photo rendering tool that they put out the other day. No.
My photo rendering tool even blows theirs out.
Let me see it.
But they're a lead generation is what it is. They're selling leads. I don't care what you say. You're selling leads, dude. Yeah, it's over your head. Yeah. Find somebody that it isn't over their head and then inject them into your business so you can also fly a Black Hawk helicopter very quickly,
Mm-hmm. Well, let me see the rendering that you speak so highly of.
No.
No?
There's.
Not
I mean,
ready yet?
I think the biggest thing too is like, it's ready, but the thing is, it's like then I wasted the next 30 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever we're gonna do here on that, and it's like if you look at it, like look at how you put your proposals together.
You want to see what I'm working on?
But like our proposals are auto-generated. They do everything from the quote to the renderings to everything that's auto-generated. I never even touched the proposals in their build. That's more impactful than what you're going to show me, because proposals help close the deal.
What I'm going to show you?
Well, the thing is like, it's a good tool.
Look at him backing up. Look at him backing up.
No, it's a good tool.
He's in reverse. Get his shit in reverse.
No, it's a good. The thing is it's a good tool. But can I do the same thing on Photoshop? Yes. It just takes longer. But did that create a recursive flywheel? No, it did not. It's just one component of the flywheel. So you have step A of letter Z all the way to letter Z, which is great. It's a great tool. And yours is actually pretty good because it ties in different things. But if you compare it to what CLC has, yours is like 100 times better.
All right, now just let me hold on. Just give me a second. Let me drive this damn thing. Give me 1 second here. What am I looking for?
Do you want an address?
Let me see if I can. I guess that's work. Okay, so this is like the design studio, but it's you know, if a homeowner is looking at it, they're not going to see the things a contractor would, or, you know, a contractor would see different things. So this is just how I can toggle, but they'll only see whatever it is. Let me remove us out of here. All right, so like basically you can upload a photo like anyone else, or you can use a demo image, the North Pole Studio, or like, you know, when you're talking to a customer, when you're talking to a customer, I mean, basically you're on the phone with them, and then the hardest part is sending them a photo rendering, because you have to put out the estimate, you have to talk to them, keep them busy, give them something to do, and then you also have to say, okay, the estimate's ready. Now let me do the Photoshop and do a quick little rendering, and then let me save that and put that into my estimate, and then let me send it. That part's very time consuming. And one of the hardest parts is they start adding more stuff. You're living on the rendering. So basically, you know, if you put your the customer's name, phone number, email address. The email is so important because as soon as you give them the email address, you automatically need to verify the email address, and they come back to you and say, yes, I've seen it. Or they push a button and they go to your interactive studio so they can see you building this. Or go, for us right now, they go to kingdomchristmaslights.com and they can see examples of houses we did in different colors, sorted by colors in these cards, interactive. But anyway, so in this design studio that you see right here, so you can start off with this one, or if you go to, like, say, I'm going to do a Google Street View, most of the time it would go to another window and get a street view, but it has to happen inside of this. So what's the address, Laura?
Let's do 20711
20711
Morgan Pasture Lane.
Where's this at?
Tomball.
Oh, right there. So see, it automatically pops up. That's something that Jobber does. That's kind of cool. And so you're inside your design studio, and you're moving it inside your design studio. That's important, that you're not in a different screen. And then is this it?
It's the one behind you.
Okay. So then you're like, okay, so this is it, and I have it sized correctly inside the screen. Boom. Use this view. Start decorating. Get on the C9 lighting, and then what the fuck happened here? Anyway, then you can start decorating like this. Okay. So let me take you to something right here. Let me get out of this, and I'll show you this one right here. So if I'm on this one, basically as soon as you get in there, this is for the homeowner view. So let me go to this, because the homeowner view, you put the zip code so you can see the contractors in your area if you're not in our area. But on a contractor view, basically all you need to do is just draw a box around the door, and that's going to give you the scale. Boom. So now that you're there, you can do your C9s. I'm just going to walk you through something super cool. So this is coming up. Boom, 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 boom. Let's go this one. Let's go up here. Boom, boom, boom. There. And then let's come in here for roof line. And then I come over here, and then up here, and then up here, and then drag it down like this. And then here. Okay. So this is the roof line right here. You can look at the nighttime mode. You can make the adjustments on some things. If I was on here, like, you can see all the designs are all connected together. It'll show you the connections for permanent lighting. Like if I want to do permanent lighting, I can just go to permanent lighting and switch it to permanent lighting. And then obviously this one is the size of the bulbs needs to be bigger, and the spacing needs to be more spread out, and it needs to be, I'm still building this one, but like I say, it needs to be a little faster.
Go back to Christmas.
But look, you can you can put like permanent lighting on there, and it'll say every time you started and stop, you need a connection and a jump, and it'll break down the materials that you need this power box, and you need these sections and all this kind of stuff, and this is how many feet, which is cool. But moving it back over here, you just switch right back to C9s. And then so if I did like, well, I'm just doing it really fast, but I said like single garages are 26 feet and double garages are 32 feet. These are exact things. So I would do like this one, and then I would do like another single garage. Let me pop this one in there really quick, and then let's do an archway real fast. A small archway or 2-story archway, it's 27 feet or 46 feet. It's just when you know your craft, this is what it is. And then you're like that. And then if you're going like say mini lights, you can do branch wraps. So like branch wrap, let's say we're going to wrap this tree. I can do this in pure white and these in red. Or you can do one red branch, one green branch, and then you just do them all, and then you save it as one tree and how many strands. So say we're going to do about 32 strands, and I'll just go like this. So we'll come up here, and then I'll do this one, this one, this one, and this one. If I want to click on edit and click this one and just make it a little bit wider in the column like that, boom. And then this one you'll say, for the mini lights, you just add this, where the fuck was that? Add the tree. But the thing, and then say greenery, if I'm looking for, this is the 60-inch wreath or the mixed noble. I mean, these are not some fucking bullshit picture of a wreath. This is the actual product on Shopify. So a 60-inch wreath, you want a canvas bow. What the hell happened here? If you want a canvas bow, man, what the fuck?
It was fine.
It was just fine a few minutes ago, but I'm sitting here messing with it. Anyway, like this. So if I add this one, or like if I add the lit bow, LED lit. Damn, what the fuck? All right. So anyway, I messed that up. Anyway, let's just say this is right. So you can change it. Like if you want red, or if you want red and pure white in the wreath, or whatever you want, it'll put those colors in there, and then you can add the wreath. And see, on night mode, most people have their greenery. Like when you're on day mode, it looks green, but then when you go to night mode, it's just like this bright green thing that doesn't shade with it. Let me move this a little bit glow and a little bit more mini light size so we can see that in the density. All right. So just take it like that, and then you can just go ahead and make you another one right over here, and then put that bad boy right there. All right. This is my first time showing anybody this. So when you go to night mode, it actually looks like that at night. And then you say, you know what, I just kind of like these. Let's go white and pure white here, and let's go 2:2 ratio or 3:3 ratio, and then just select for all, and then everything has red, white, even on the reefs and everything. And also the garland. This is another thing that no one's doing. So if I go to garland, like you can just go like this and draw a line, and then boom, it makes the garland right there. Not some 9-foot section that you have to keep doing little pieces and all this other bullshit. So that one's cool, and it does the night, and it has the lights in it. So as you change the lights in the wreath go, or like this tree, what you're seeing with this tree is it's on a 3-3 combination. So if I went to like maybe a 1-1, it would be a tighter, see? Let me click off of that. So a tighter candy cane kind of thing. And you can do like when you're on the garland, the greenery, you can go to like, and you're probably thinking this is a lot of shit, and I'll explain it to you in a second. But if you're on garland, you can say, I just want to do columns. And then maybe I'm just going like this with the garland, right? Maybe I'm just doing a few of these, and then, or maybe I'm doing the entryway door. So then I'm just going like this, and I'm just doing a real quick entryway with garland, which will count for 3 pieces. But anyway, you can see these aren't shaded yet. I'm still working on it. But the scope of work for this exact one, and let's add the ridge line real quick. Let's say I'm gonna do the ridge line, and the ridge line is gonna be like this. It's gonna be like this, and then it's gonna be like this. And then this one's gonna come here, and here, and here, and there. Okay, anyway. So I have the ridge line. So basically, these are the things that are optional or recommended. So the roof line, so that's going to be good. The ridge line is definitely going to be optional. The archway will be not even an option. The garage doors might be a recommended, and you know, the mini lights and stuff. But if you look on the left, the materials needed. Let me get these numbers right. 183, that's correct. And then usually the ridge line's not correct because you can't really see a lot of it to decorate it correctly. So you got this one is this one is
So you're increasing the footage.
yeah, so I think it's probably about 170 is what that one is. All right. And so right now this exact job, and this is the inventory that you're going to do, because for this one, for the pure white and red with this one, and then say I did this one little tree, which is a branch wrap and canopy, we're going to come over here. This one's going to be in the 6 strands for this trunk. It's going to go like this. And then next is the C7 canopy. We're going to do red and white in that one too, and it's going to be right here. And this is going to be the C7,
That's
and
cool.
we're probably going to need about maybe 40 bulbs for that with the 36-inch spacing. Boom. So we're going to add that part, and it's in there. So if you come down here to your scope of work, this exact project right here is going to take you 204 red bulbs, 202 pure white bulbs, 447 feet of socket wire. It's got the clips, how many you need, how many ridge clips you need, the hot glue sticks you need, how many red strands of lights you need, how many pure white, the C7 canopy, how many bulbs you need, how many garland, how many lights that go into the garlands only factored, or if you want, you have warm white wreaths. If you want pure white and red, you got to add 2 pure white and 2 red mini lights to count for what they need for that garland or for that wreath or whatever. But it has what kind of this and that, 2 the mixed noble 60-inch wreaths, and what kind of bows you need. It has the whole material list. And this one right here is for the estimate. So when you send it to the customer, you have an interactive estimate where the customer can change the colors. I'm sitting here working on this one, but the customer can sit here and they can change the colors themselves on the estimate. They can take off the options and say, oh, okay, what if I take these reefs off? Oh, that changes the price to $4,000, but if I add the reefs, oh, it looks like that. Or you know what? I don't really need the I don't know what the fuck that is, but anyway, I don't really need this garland stuff that they were talking about. I definitely don't need that. But no, I need that tree, $750. I need that. These garage doors, it doesn't look right, that one. And then I'd maybe add the windows, so you can see the options, and then it breaks down in a full estimate like you would see in Jobber with the Google reviews and the whole thing. So that's really cool. Let me back up real quick. Oh, you guys didn't see that. Oh, I'm sorry. Y'all didn't see that. I'm sorry. Are you still there?
We're here.
Yeah. So yeah, this one you can actually
now we can see it.
You can actually change the customer can actually change the colors, or they can decide what options that they want onto their estimate. Without this tree or with the tree, which is $925. But if you want it or don't want it, or if you want to change the colors, because the problem in our industry, let me.
So this is the client view that you're showing right here.
Well, this is the beginning of the estimate. But the problem in our industry is you do a photo rendering, and that's not what the customer approved. What's going on with this? That's not what the customer approved. They actually approved, without the garage or without something. So you're sending this rendering out to a homeowner, and the homeowner, they didn't approve that stuff. And the installers, you're like, hey, can you read English? It says not to do the archway. They didn't approve it, but the image has the archway, so they do it. So this one, whatever they approve, that's the rendering you see, which is Major League. But moving back to this, can y'all see this?
I can see the...
Okay, we're on the scope of work. So if you come down here, if you just want to buy this stuff, you can come down here and just get like a cost preview. And this is going to tell you that this is your true cost based on case price, individual units. And this is going to cost you $2,875 to buy, just true cost. I mean, if you buy it, you have to buy case packs and stuff, but this breaks it all down. And then if you want to look at your inventory, it shows you all your inventory of what you currently have, what you've sold, what you still need. You can export the photos. You can do a bunch of other stuff. But if you want to actually buy this, let me see the, the generate link is how a customer becomes a homeowner profile for you, and they can see their estimate as you're working on it.
Okay.
But if you do and it also shows you some featured vendors, but where's my part where I do the Shopify job?
Can you export that list out?
Yeah.
As like a CSV file?
It carries with the homeowner. So like, as Homeboy was assigned the job, this is what the materials that are needed. And then when he's done, if you gave him, 5,000 bulbs, he should have this many left, this many glue sticks left, this many ridge clips left. I don't need to say, hey, Jose, how many red bulbs do you have? Because I have this job and I want to send it to you, but I didn't know, do you have enough red to do the job? You already know all this shit. You already know exactly what he has. And because it's taken from his inventory as it goes and comes. And where's my? Let's see here. The materials. Okay, scope. Oh, shop materials. No, that's not it. Okay, let's
It's
see
down
here.
further, isn't it?
I think so. It's
You showed me this last
show
night.
branded estimate, export, view material
Did you
cost.
move the button?
It's down here. Export, copy package, design. Are you kidding me? It's not here? I showed Laura yesterday. I should have
Yeah,
never.
last night.
Yeah.
You had a
Here's where you
button.
export the package right here. No, it was like, hold on, what's going on here? Where's the? Oh, it's because the contractor doesn't buy the materials, the homeowner does. I'm sorry. That's what's going on. So the homeowner would actually preview the estimate or view the material kit. So the material kit will break down at what you need. So if you like say I need all this shit, or I already got like C7 bulbs, or let's leave this off or whatever. But if you just want to add it to the cart, what do you think's going to happen then?
What's going to happen? Show me.
So right now you're in the cart, all this shit right here. You don't need like a package. Like I'm gonna buy a package and it's a 150-foot package and the only variable is just the color bulbs. It's like this one is every single product in Shopify you can put in there. You can have an interactive estimate to see exactly what's going on, and every single product that I decorated with, anything that you need is in the cart, push checkout, it's on the way. Okay? So you might have like a Photoshop rendering or something like that, but you ain't got nothing like this shit. This does everything for you. What am I doing? I can't even see what the hell's going on here.
It's just a blank screen.
Where am I at? Am I even still on? Are we live?
Yeah, we're still live.
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
hours and 10 minutes. Still
Oh,
there.
okay. Here we go. Here we go. Is it not sharing it? Is that what
It's
happened?
not sharing.
Anyway,
You got AI brain, dude.
dude. Okay. Anyway,
He gets out on
The-
Sunday for a couple hours.
the
and
point I'm trying.
Where's
to
his
make-
collar and leash so he don't run away?
Yeah. Where's his shot collar?
In
a
his
cattle
muzzle.
prod. Cattle prod. So anyway, the point is, it's an interactive experience for the customer. Once you separate, this is the garage and this is this and this costs that. Having an interactive one that you can change the rendering and actually see what it looks like on your house is key. Being able to tell you all the materials that you have, all the materials that you need. Most small companies could never keep up with inventory because you're like, I gave him a case and he sold, this many bulbs. So that's the only thing I can really count. So I guess he should have around 200. Like there's no way to keep up with it. This right here keeps up with every single clip, every single bulb. It's interactive. You could buy exactly what you need. All a la carte.
See,
And then,
See, from what I'm seeing from it too, is like when a new guy comes in, and like I said, inventory management. When you look at the inventory management system, it's clunky, it's hard. They don't really integrate with a lot of things, and they don't do it very well. And so what you're doing from the design I need design, I need supplies, and I need tracking with inventory, like internally, right? That's why I was like, well, does it upload can you export a CSV file of your order? Or something, just a quick button, you can easily add that, right? But it's like if I had that, I could also plug it into any other system to keep track of it. And it says this client, this is what it's at. So when you go into like my inventory management system and I got all these components all over and you get a bigger warehouse, it's kind of like, but where's that grounded knowledge? Well, by using something like you have, getting started, right? Like if you have those in applications and you don't have your own operating system, is like, this is a great feature that you could pair with Jobber or something else to where it's like those two solve a lot of your problems that you're going through with running that home service company. So that's what I like when you showed it to me, was it's not just that, but it plugs them into like people in your area. Like it is robust, and there's nothing really truthfully doing it that well that I've seen yet, except yours.
Well, what's interesting is once you see the directory, like right now, there's 40,900 zip codes in the United States, lower 48. I don't care what zip code you're in, I've already got where you'll have at least 3 recommendations for a service and which one I think is the best already right now. And not even one person has been allowed to even get in there. I have actual real companies and real data and real.
Am I on there? I'm a real company.
You're actually not on there. I looked in the directory. I finally looked at it the other day, and I said,
I'm like a
Does
speakeasy."
anybody know like Joe Murray? I think Joey Murphy, maybe it's Joseph. I'm not sure what it is. And then it was like, no, never heard of him. He must be nobody out there.
I'm a speakeasy of the Christmas lighting. Is it?
Yeah, it's a secret door.
What's your password?
Yeah,
What's your API token key?
No, what's the special knock? I need the special knock.
What's this? Yeah. It's a Christmas song.
But that's what I'm building, bro. It's like when you get on the phone with the customer, if you design it with like roof, and then you design it with the roof, and then this, and then the tree, and if you design it the right way, it creates the estimate. It can create the estimate while the customer is looking at this the customer facing side of the screen that you're decorating. They could see it while they're on the phone with you. You know, and then you're like, this is what it is, and then here's the estimate, and here's what it costs, and then they can approve what options, and they can show their husband or wife or whatever, and it's all right there. And once they approve it, you know exactly the materials you need for the last 35 jobs you did. How many reefs did you sell? You got 20 jobs on the schedule right now. It's October 15th or whatever for a smaller company. You have 25 jobs on there. How much does all that shit total? How many clips do you need for every single job you've already sold? How many wreaths have you already? Most people it's zero because they don't do it. But how many wreaths have you sold? Because if you give the customer the opportunity to add a wreath, they're going to add a wreath. So this is already connected where you just push a button and you buy it and it's on the way. Too easy. What do I have now and what do I still need? If you have nothing perfect, push this button and give you everything you need. It'll round it up to case pack, whatever you want, and it'll just send you everything you need with a click of a button. I mean, and that right there is how you run a Christmas business.
So you're making the sales process a little easier for the contractors. Then you're piecing together the supply component. You're bridging a communication gap with the client.
Well, I'm just solving my problems. I'm solving my.
But that's the best. Look at what I'm doing. I'm solving my problems, you know. But then it comes into where this, like I said, is we all have the same problem. So then people are like, I want that thing, and it's like, well, now you're somebody who goes and achieves it. Who's going to do that? Full-time Christmas light people that have enough capacity and space as a Christmas owner. Not, oh, I'm full-time Christmas, but I own another company. I'm talking, can you block off 3 months of your time and dedicate to this? 4. And it's like, but can you go to that extent to build something like this and go into that territory? That's how many people can do that, you know? And I find it very where it's like you're kind of setting the industry standards because you're going deeper and deeper because you're the only one committed to like doing it in the nation almost. Maybe there's some other people like the speakeasy people that are doing it, but
they're not doing it. I mean, the next step, Joey.
I find that they're running their companies and not like going to the next level of like.
Well,
scaling
the thing is they're done with Christmas lights, and then they're working the pressure washer next week, and they're not stopping. If you're full-time Christmas, you have plenty of time to do this. But if you're not full-time Christmas, you don't have any time to do this because it takes way too long to do it. It takes 3-4 months of your life, 16 hours a day to even get halfway there sometimes, especially when you're first starting. So it's going to be really a tough one. Or if you hire someone that doesn't know shit about Christmas, they're not going to do it. You know, I think something like the next phase of the design studio is the second angle. Like, you know, you have the house and then you have the gate. So you have, create another image that goes onto to the estimate. So we have your front gate that can't be seen in the picture. And then we have your house. So then when you say, okay, the gate, and then you want this on the gate and this wreath and this, it'll be another picture. And these 3 pictures is what's on this full estimate. So, I mean, that's the other thing that hasn't been figured out because it's
well, even that
commercial
3D renderings would solve that. 3D models. So someone's property.
Like you can take this picture and then I have the Santa AI, which is like ChatGPT that's logged into tokens, and then it'll just take this and make that little photo rendering. But you don't want ChatGPT to just send you a rendering of that house decorated with Christmas lights because that's not being transparent with the customer of the scope of work.
But you can't track the inventory. That's the thing is like you can do it. Hey, is this a good idea? Like you're throwing out design ideas, but it doesn't ground the knowledge of like the inventory. Where do you go buy it? It's all those steps that you're getting slowed down with those friction points. But that's what I was saying. That gate thing is when right now everybody's screenshotting. When does it become 3D rendering of properties? Like how my view is, my spatial awareness thing is you're actually decorating and it looks like that video that you like of the truck taking the picture and stuff. when does it get like that? When do you think?
Yeah,
Like,
I
what
mean, I
time?
think you can put it in Gronk Imagine, or you can put it in what is it, the Google Flow, and just the picture of the final product, and then it would have like it's zooming in on it with you can do that in 10 seconds, like making an AI virtual visual of it, especially for commercial properties when you place all the products.
But what about designing like what you're doing? It's all 2D, right? When do you think it'll get to 3D where you're designing on a 3D model?
I think it's already here, because if you send a picture, AI will make it look like.
But you can't ground the knowledge, is what I'm saying. When do you get the 3D model to where you can actually string the lights on there, put the wreath at the top of the peak, and it tells you to buy it? Tells when you generate the quote.
Oh, I see.
Like what we're doing, but in a 3D model. That's the next step for me, because that creates spatial awareness. Now you can actually tag a wreath of an actual GPS waypoint.
Yeah.
And it's not an overhead or this view. It's not 2D plane. It's 3D plane. When does it get to that? I don't think it's too far away. Maybe within the next year.
Yeah. Yeah. Fred was like, he was listening like intently. He was like, man.
It was Stands. Stands is
He's
not
talking
going to
about
be
the
happy?
strands, dog. The strands.
strands.
Yeah, the Strander ain't going to be happy is probably what he was
Strander.
trying to say. Strander ain't going to be happy, and I wouldn't put the garland there. And next level, and I'm listening to a robot, and
Beep
old
boop, beep
Fred-
boop. He's like
Yeah.
R2D2 dinner.
I got to take my pocket protector out and then beat your ass with it. Yeah, shit like that.
I don't know what that now.
Yeah, you don't know nothing about a
No,
pocket
I don't know
protector,
nothing.
like
No, I don't know
Revenge of the
nothing.
Nerds,
Yeah.
Lambda. That's not your fraternity. Come on, dog. Let's be honest.
All right, boys. All right.
But so the big thing with all of it though is when you look at it is there's layers of things. And so like it's just what layer do you need, what layers it's going to go to, and then how can you use it to make money with it to better your life. So like even with this AI stuff, I have where my cockpit says when it's ready to take off, and that tells me when it's time to take off. Like for me, like you don't like that. You're like, don't tell me to stop. Well, I need to know when's the best time to take a vacation. What's the most optimal time for me to take a vacation based on what I want to do? Like if I want to go to Australia, when's the best time to go to Australia? It builds me the whole
Is this
thing.
what
and it
took so
tells me
long to
the
tell
thing.
me when the date of the damn rehearsal? I mean,
Oh my goodness.
No, I didn't.
the wedding vow renewal.
I just started in February, and then no, that's not it. But do you see what I'm saying? Like, is to build the components to actually better your life and actually run your business better. None of this. If you can do it, but you're just doing it a little faster, you're not closing the loop. So the one thing that I like from I think his name is, I'll chop it up, but he's from Moonshots, the podcast, and he said that your humans were in the loop. It's your job to get on top of the loop. So you're in the process all the time. You're the choke point. It's your job to get out of in it and get on top of it. And that's what I feel like what we're doing is we're trying to be less involved into those components, systematize. When I say less involved, we're diving so deep to back out. You know what I mean? And it just run kind of its thing. You have that engine, but you got to get out of the loop, not create those friction points, get on top of it, and create those systems and processes for yourself that's going to actually do something in your life. You can go and get like Strander, that's great. If you just want to pay that, or there's other ones in the market and stuff, or there's Ron things, but look at what Ron's thing does for you. You know what I mean? Like it does certain components that Strander doesn't do. But again, it's as if maybe Strander doesn't want to.
No, it's like, you can approve the quote, get it paid, put it into processing, schedule that job to the crew. I mean, this is like the whole thing. This is everything.
But is it like the same price? Is it like, no, mine's 3 times more expensive?
And it's like freaking free. It's like $20 a month for everything.
Yeah. See, that's,
once you build it, of course.
That's a lot of value, but it's just like, there can be all different people in the market doing all different things, but it's like, who has the best? Well, the best for the new guy is not the most money best features. It's just, I need to get started. And that's where the OpEx and CapEx comes in. You know what I mean? That I started
the recursive self-healing flywheel. This is like, if you said it's going to be 2 hot glue sticks for the archway, and you said this size window gets this many glue sticks, but then the crew starts saying, no, it was this many glue sticks, and then it's self-healing and say, okay, from now on, let's change it to this many glue sticks based on,
right. You're getting the input and the data. That's why you can't get emotional and you're like, no, I know it's 2 sticks and you're stealing
You're
sticks.
wasting a stick of glue. I'm taking it out of your paycheck.
Yeah. But it's like, well, that's weird. Why did we use that much glue? And then this year we used this much on this property. That's where it's like, well, I'm tracking the weather and the humidity of even when we install the glue. Because in October in Texas, it's hot. It takes a lot longer for it to stick. And then a little bit of rain. Also, the weather temperature fluctuations are harder. So then it expands and contracts of the glue.
And what direction the house faces?
What afternoon sun is a big one. Why do you think I had the winter solstice and the directions? What facing the house is? Once you give it all of that information, and it can with just some components. Everybody thinks it's so robust. It's actually like, okay, what components do you need for that? You need a weather tracking app. What is that? I use Windy is what it picked. There's a couple other ones, but I like the lightning strikes around me and everything to know how much it is and how active a thunderstorm it really is and stuff. All that stuff to me matters when you run operations with the crews. So now he's like, what's the best time to glue? You think after 5 years, I would have enough data to know exactly the best time, the humidity, the time of year, everything based on that trending? I'll be more equipped to make the right decision, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, the whole thing is about making your life easy. If you can get on the phone with a new person and you can have the estimate in their hand in 3 minutes where they can say yes and buy it and they can completely see exactly what you're going to do, all your disclaimers and terms and conditions and all that stuff is there, that's gold. And then if you could figure out AI to do the phone script and do all this process for you, it's like you don't even have to speak English. For the people who don't speak very good English and they're business owners, they won't even know you don't speak English till they meet you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because the processes do all the explaining for you. It's like, this is the best way, I think, for our business. And I think we're creating a digital real estate. And we're going to be the first lease client for our own digital real estate. And then we'll be able to handle probably about maybe 10 companies that are doing the same thing we're doing with the, you can do the rendering and buy the materials of your homeowner, period. But to actually do the estimate process and run the same pay scale that we do, it's already in there. The payroll's done, everything's done. If you want to run your company just like us, we could probably take 10 companies this year. Yeah. For the growth that we're at now.
See, that's the flagship model, like Murphy Christmas Lighting is the flagship model of the Crystal operating system. So it's being tested through how big we are. But again, you open the wounds of a size of my company. But what if it's like a $50 million company of Christmas lights? I'm not that big at all. So like when you go to $50 million, there's other problems. There's more variables that can happen where maybe once every 10 years it happens for you. It's once every year it's something weird happens for them. So with the operating system I built, it's like that's where you would want to run that engine through a big machine to try to see what those problems kind of are. But it's like, well, the flagship model of Kingdom Christmas, like you're like, I built it for myself, but that's the model that's being tested through currently. And when you run through and they're like, well, you're bigger than me and everything. With that, it's just you've had more time and data and experience. Like what I'm thinking about the glue, probably the new guy's like, what is this guy talking about? I am kind of scared to glue now, and it's like, no, you just need to kind of understand it. And that's what I don't want everybody to sell everybody with all this stuff is that, and I see online is like, if you can explain exactly what you built and the purpose behind it, then the intention and my goal will be met. But these other guys that are like, oh, I'm late to the game and I want something right now, you're bound to fail just on those two things. When do you ever do those two things and you can execute things 100% in business? Why are you just going to be handed a silver platter or a spaceship and you get in the cockpit and you're like, what's all these controls? You don't know how to fly it. You know what I mean? That's why you do process, go to trainings, go listen to people, take these things to heart because, and understand what people are trying to tell you. Like when they're trying to sell you something, I had one the other day of a property management company wanted me to pay $10,000. And I says, how many open bids on your property management company are there right now? Can you tell me that number? Because that's essentially what you're selling me. And he said, no. And I said, so you're selling me something that I'm buying and you can't tell me the result. You'll just take my money. And then if I get zero, like there could be 0 contracts open and I pay you that to you. And you're like, thanks for your money. So once you identify what what people are selling you, and everybody has a service, like what I'm saying with my service or Ron's saying with his service, we're just trying to help push it along and help somebody help scale their company. It's a B2B empowerment business. That's what it is. We're not trying to sell you something, take your money. We're actually trying to provide something to you that you can run with your company.
Like, because in our platform, like when you sign in under your company profile, you can set how much you charge per foot and how much you charge per strand of mini lights and how much you charge per wreath. And then when you do the design studio, it'll just do the equation based on how much you charge a foot. So if you want to be Jason Guyman and charge $23 a foot, you just put that in there, and then you just, it'll tell you that this is the price based on that much per foot or whatever. So, I mean, it has all that in there already, but I'm not done with it, as you could see, but it's getting pretty damn close for the design studio. It's close enough to show you that it works and it's awesome. And then when I see it go through the inventory about what I have and what I need and all that, and it's like, I mean, if you have a company where you have, like, right now, how many 60-inch reefs do we currently have right now? Exact number, Laura. Exactly, right? You know what I'm saying? So you say, what I say, what it's more.
But that's a friction point that you've identified.
More or less than 70? Is it more or less than 70?
More than 70.
So it's more than 70. Okay, so at the end of the season, we'll probably have all of those 70, 60-inch reefs gone. Okay, and then how many lit bows do we have right now that are not brand new? They're just from previous years, and they didn't fucking lose the damn plug-in and the cord that goes to it or some shit, How many lit bows do we have, and how many beautiful canvas bows that are cleared to say I can put this on a customer's house again? How many is it?
Right.
So when you're selling it like this, it says you sold this many canvas bows and this many wreaths, but this is what you have. So you only have 15 more, but like what you were saying, but you got a whole bunch of this kind. So stop selling that and start selling what you have, but you don't know that because you're just selling. And you're like, before I sell anymore, let's go over to the warehouse and manually count these things and make sure we're not overdoing it. But it would take you like 20 minutes to figure out, well, let's add up all the stuff we sold first. And it's just like impossible. You need something that's instant, that doesn't take any of your time, and someone that works for you just saying, boom, and they can access this information in 2 seconds. That's what you have to have if you're going to run it any bigger. If not, you're never going to scale to a higher level because you are the bottleneck. You're the reason, because you're doing it. And like you said, it's all in your head. So when you hire someone, it's like, okay, well, tell me the process and tell me your phone script and tell me this. You're like, phone script? My process? Just meet me tomorrow and I'll figure it out tonight, And then your chat GPT and how to do the form that they're going to sign tomorrow, right? I mean, that's how you do it.
Well, the thing is, that's where... No, you're 100% right, and that's where it becomes the labor hours of like assistants or VAs or anything. All that gets cost is money, and now if you use AI properly, it can be done like very cheap now. Like I can get that report done with $1, and it would have took $200 of the payroll all day. And so with that is grounding,
and it's still not accurate.
Right, but that's where now AI has it.
People to say, hey, Betty or whatever her name is, today what I want you to do is I just want you to go through the warehouse and inventory everything. You can't trust it, and they're going to write it down on a piece of paper. It's going to be worthless.
Right, it's too much.
You can't.
They're creating mess.
$500 to tell me what my inventory is.
Right,
that's
anything you write down is decentralized. So what you need to do is take a picture of that and upload it digitally, because then that would maybe make it more centralized. And you could say like your source of truth is the Google Drive or something like that. But even then, what capacity can you do in the Google Drive? Even as powerful as Google is and everything, you can't do everything in there. That's why I got away from it and I put everything in my database. But just like you, is if they could, maybe they see something and they use you for their supplies, but they were to export their CSV, they can manipulate that data a certain way, maybe with a certain report they want. So it's even using your stuff, and then hey, why should you go with this? Why can you trust this software and everything? Because it hits all the components. And then if it gets real messy, at least I have a CSV file that I can upload into AI, and it can make and judge how many wreaths did I buy this year. Maybe Ron's thing is like not doing what I want it to do, but what Ron's thing is doing is grounding the knowledge for you as you operate. So like you said, as the new guys come in, I'm too late. I want it now. I need to ground my knowledge. That is a really good way to do design, supplies, customer, ground your knowledge. All of them get hit.
Website.
And I haven't found a program like that in hiring.
Like literally, I could meet you today and you could sit through my class, and the whole entire class is not teaching you how to do anything except for use this system. And then, of course, you need to learn handle and knowledge to see if you can actually do the damn thing and get on the roof or whatever. But But you could have a website, which is a business listing that looks like a website. Your customers are there and have no idea they're even on ChristmasContractor.com. They're on your stuff like Jobber. They just see your branded stuff. They don't even realize they're there. But you can have homeowners, you can have the process, the pay scale, you can have the design studio, you can have the products, you can get the hiring, advertising, a website. You can have it all in 2 days. I've got that set up. I got that shit on lock on the speed of which you can do it for just the reason for the season to get them ready. And that right there is something no one can do and no one has done up to this date. And that's what this is built to do.
And that's what I look at as the season at Christmas is coming, right? And so once you've built an engine that can help a lot of people, you're providing a service for something. You're also providing other things for them. All those features to where as Christmas is approaching, what are you doing to kind of prepare it? And then what plan is it going to be to where if somebody wanted to recreate or even say, Ron's got a good idea, but I can build it myself. At what point is there a point of no return where you can't? When is that going to happen?
We're there now.
And it's like, well, if it took me 4 months to do what I do, what's 4 months from now? October? Oh man, you're just too late. You know what I mean? Maybe you might get there, maybe. And you would have to have the next 4 months blocked off. Can you do that? Yeah. And that's where it goes, okay, I need help. I really need help because if you don't hit it this season, it's a whole nother year. Christmas is that one little block of time is a whole year lapsed to where you can't capitalize on it again. So do you want this stuff this year? 100% you do. And you can get it, but maybe you may have to pay for a class or try to get some system and pay for it just so you can get caught up to like the recent times because you're just behind. And that's what you need to tell yourself and stop thinking that, hey, I'm doing the best thing. Sometimes you're not, and you need a little help to get caught up. That's what training and stuff is for. I want to, all the little hiccups and everything these guys have done. They've ran through they've tripped and fallen 1,000 times. They've took the time to take 4 months to do this. How could it speed me up by 30 days? How much is 30 days to me? That's why I said, if somebody were to build this for me, I'd be throwing money at them. Because it's everything.
If you have 50 estimates to do, how fast can you do them? If you talk to someone, what do you say?
If you're Laura,
a second. No,
I don't know. If you're Ron, I don't know.
Yeah, but the thing is if you're anybody, you can do it in 5 minutes. But most people, they'll say like, I'm not going to call my buddy David out, but anyway, David would say like,
beep,
hey,
beep, beep.
You want the beep, beep. Do you want to get an estimate? Okay, well, tell me about it and I'll look it up. And right now I'm driving, but when I get stopped and stuff, I'll send you an estimate. And then it's like 2 days later and you still haven't sent that customer an estimate. And you're like, I know, but I was going to, but I'm busy and I'm doing this and this. And you're just dropping all this money. Because it's so tough because you can't even handle the way the phone rings with normal customers, much less one that you said you would call back. And that's how busy it gets. And that's when thy cup is overflowing and thy boat is not big enough and thy is drowning in blessings until the water recedes and you're on the beach going, damn, I should have built a bigger boat. And then I'll do that next year. But in the meantime, where's that pressure washer at again? And where's that paintbrush? Or where's that roofing nail or something? And then you just completely forget about it.
Yeah, it's the bigger boat thing. So like, I don't know in your group, I've seen it in other groups and stuff, but it's like when people say, well, how many customers are you going to do this year? What do you want to grow to this year and everything else? And they'll be like, oh, I want to scale to like double. I want to do double. But like you said, that boat is like, did you build a boat to hold double? And you're going into the season with a boat that's twice as big? I don't think many people are. I think they have this theory. They get new relationships, maybe with a vendor, get a little bit lower pricing, but you don't fix the operational side at all.
You want your bank
and then you end up running into
double.
Brick walls.
Yeah. If I got 100,000, I want 200,000. It's like, okay, how? How are you going to 200? Like, show me where you need to be at 200, and then reverse engineer that back, and then tell me what's all the answers to all those questions of how you're going to double? Because didn't you do the best you possibly could last year? Where were you just like half-ass doing it and you're going to give more effort? No, you gave all the effort and you did the best you could last year. And somehow doing the same amount of effort, you're going to do double? Maybe. Maybe the first couple years you went from 20 to 40, 40 to 80, and 80 to 160 or something. But
you hit different problems, different friction points, different, like even prepping and how are you going to prep all this stuff? And you have to change how you prep. It's like, everybody has different theories. Like look online, have AI scrape the internet or whatever. And you'll see all these different things of how people prep. I prep a certain way, other people, but what's operationally fast? Is anybody putting out YouTube videos of if I put it in a trash can or if I do a willable tote or I do it and I do 100 feet? Is anybody doing like real science engineering experiments on like what works, what doesn't work? No.
Joey Murphy.
I don't see any of that.
Joey
I don't see
Murphy.
anybody doing that.
He's got the spray bottle of water, and he's saying what trips and what makes things trip. A stream of water, just a mist of water, and what makes the voltage to the point it trips the breaker for moisture and stuff like that. Murphy's broke all this down to an exact science.
But like fog is can impact things. Like I hate fog. We don't get much here in Texas, but when it does happen, there are certain things that can happen to lights, and it's weird. Different product failures and everything with fog because it's droplets in the air, and then the IP rating is like, I thought you were IP68 rated or something, or you were molded construction on the mini light, and for some reason it's failing. That comes from like just doing it through time in weird situations in different climates, just like Florida. Doing Christmas lights in Florida is different than doing Christmas lights in Texas, than Colorado or Utah.
Similar.
New York, even space to store things is different. Like it's different everywhere. So you have to look at like, okay, in this application, what functionality do I use? Do I want to do, like a lot of guys don't have trailers. We have trailers. And then they're like, we can't get guys to drive trailers. That's a friction point. So then you have Sprinter vans or you got this. But if you do large scale commercial decor, how are you transporting this stuff?
Yeah, old U-Hauls.
Box trucks or old U-Hauls and stuff. And it's like, are you going to rent that? Are you going to buy it? When do you buy it? It's like there's so many variables of different businesses everywhere. So that's why understanding what it really is that you're trying to achieve, and then what tools do you need? Like Ron, you have a tool and everything.
Dude.
It's like, this can make you faster. This can make you more money. This can make you better, or just give you more time. How many times, Laura, I know you guys prep for food in the season and stuff, like you're preparing for the storm. We do the same thing, right? Because I don't have enough time. Time is the thing we're all fighting. And if you can buy back your time through systems, why wouldn't you? If you can run 10 times faster, achieve 10 times more, wouldn't you just take a little bit more time? I know that's why I have takeoff in my cockpit, is to be like, wow, everything is running and I'm not even touching anything. I could feel comfortable with that. It's when nothing is moving if I don't touch it. That's where I have a little fear.
Dude,
right?
check this out, dude. You see right here where it has the materials? It shows you if you just did 15-inch spacing. See how the materials change? So if you did 15-inch spacing versus 12-inch spacing, and then it'll show you like over here on lease versus purchase, it'll show you like if you're using materials from last year, if you keep buying, what's the difference in your company if you switched between leasing and buying versus leasing or buying, or if you went from 12-inch to 15-inch, you could see it on the whole entire company level. If you would have used 15-inch spacing, it would have saved you this amount of money and blah, blah, blah.
See, to me,
all of that makes
that's
sense.
that's awesome. That's wonderful. And then, but the thing is, it's like, did all of those applications need the 12-inch, right? So it's like, I already needed the 15-inch. I put 12-inch like on a 3-story building. You should have not done that, right?
Yeah, big commercial
you wasted
property,
money.
15's perfect.
Right. Even a little bit longer than that on like some big dealerships and stuff are totally fine, because you can't. It's too high up. You can't even see the difference.
Well, the thing is you don't know, like, if I would have used 15-inch spacing on half of my projects this year, what would that have changed? And then when it tells you that would have saved you $87,364.23 if you would have did that, you're like, what? But you don't know that. Or if I would have,
but it's the spec though. That's the thing though, is like you can say that out of the whole company, but spec wise, that's what I look at it as a designer for the project. We do 12-inch a lot, like on residential.
That's all we do usually,
right?
But we just started doing 15.
When people say, oh, this person cheaper, I may say maybe you're not for us, but I'll say make sure they're using 12, like compare apples to apples. But the application, like a ground stake, maybe not 15-inch, right? Like a 2-story high up building, just roof line, 15-inch. And it's like, because it's your perspective of the lights, and it's the application that you're trying to use it in. That's where like permanent lighting comes in, and why people that don't look at the specs and they just, oh, the Christmas lights is easy, and they're not really applying the specs to it. And then they get into something a little bit more technical. You have to really understand how many splitters you have, voltage drop. You have to understand the product, or you're going to run into problems with Christmas lighting, with LEDs coming out and custom cut wire. I mean, you can really, everybody sees everything of what people can do out there, and they can still light with other things. If you understand the product, you'll go a lot further as a company with specs. So I like how you say to move to 12 to 15, but if 50% of your stuff is supposed to be 12-inch spec wise for a good design, then maybe you're not saving 84,000. You're just saving like 40.
Well, you can just take these 5 big commercial projects and see what the difference would be in profit, because I already have the labor figured out. So I know what the materials are that cost me. I know that this is previously owned material, so I know what that cost me over the course of years, 3-year window. I know how much the labor is going to be in the materials, so I know what the profit's going to be. And you say, if I did this, how would it change the profit on this commercial spot? And I know it like instantly, exactly what everything's going to be before I even start. I mean, that is the fact that you could push a button and see that. That's never been available before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why the tools are so good. It's like, here's an idea, and it's like, I want this. I mean, can people reach out to you and ask, hey, I want this feature. I love what you're doing, Ron, but can you make sure this feature's in it? I really would want it. Is there like a customer feedback thing that you can do?
I think it's a beta team. It's a beta team, but because you're getting through it, but you can only tell that to someone who's actually the one who's building it.
Yeah,
like
right.
me, I had to call Matt and say, Matt, damn it. I'll say, hey, I need you to add the 2-2 and the 3-3 ratio on Strander. And he's like, man, no one's asking for that. I'm like, then I called him, hey, man, you're going to do this shit. And then he did it. I said, I didn't say your name. I said, I've seen somebody on the line and did it like, he's like, it's just too much work and this and that. I'm like, he did it like in 5 minutes. Okay. And then he had it like the next day or 3 days later, because he's the one that does it. And since I'm the one that does it, I don't know what's going to happen in season. I'm sure I'll be busy, but in the off season, absolutely. I think right now with a couple command prompts, the way I have it set up now, that I could probably do it while doing other things easy.
Yeah, I code from my phone right now. So like, but it is like you want your computer screens and you want to, you have to test it. It's not just like fast fix and then it breaks something. That's what coding is. So everybody's like, oh, it doesn't work or something. That's all you're doing all day is breaking things, coding, and breaking down more walls, building. You're architecting, and sometimes you have to demolition when you are in construction, right? And that's just the way it is. So when people understand that too, their approach is a little bit better as far as like, this is what I want, this is how long it's going to take. And that's what I think when I was saying earlier about people is, do you have enough time to do this? And then you need to reflect on that now. So you can be like, okay, I don't have enough time. I really need some help. I should sign up some for trainings, because when it comes to like end of September or something like that, and you're trying to do it, it's not going to happen. You don't have even enough time to affect change.
You know what? Enjoy your summer, dog. Enjoy your summer. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about getting ready for your business and all that. Don't worry about none of that. You know what I mean? All you got to do is just come to the 2026 ChristmasContractor.com season kickoff. I'm going to teach you my system, and I'll get you plugged into it, and you'll be operating just like us in a matter of a day or two. Okay. And that's all you got to do. Just relax. Enjoy the summer. Dude, relax. Don't sit there and try to build your own shit. Don't worry about that. Just let your buddy Ron do it, because you're going to mess it up and waste a bunch of time anyway. Okay.
I got to be honest with you. There's so much truth to it. But you're also condescending a little bit. But we all know that everybody's going to wait. And we all know that there are some people who can't do it. But Ron's just saying, screw it.
No, what I'm saying is, dude, I tried to build the directory like 4 times and wasted like a month of time. And it just turned out to be a turd. And I just deleted it, like a month worth of work.
It can be discouraging
Previously. Yeah. And this stuff is a commitment. If you ain't trying to put in 16-hour days and all that kind of stuff, the Christmas business really ain't for you. It's just an extra side hustle. But if you're really going to do it, I mean, the coding, you really need to know what the hell you're talking about, and you have to dedicate such a huge portion of your life to do it. I just think that you're never going to get to the point where you can actually use it. Like, you could make like a little form that makes things easy, but how are you accepting the credit cards into your little process? How are you doing this?
That's what I mean.
Like, well, damn, that's another month full of this and that and this and that. Yeah. You're never going to get to the point where you got it. So you might as well just say, how much is your system in comparison to the 8 that I'm using currently? And you say, well, based on the 8 that you're using currently, it's like a fraction of the cost.
Well,
it's twice as better.
It's what's a tech stack to operate your company. And then if you can, like with Ron's thing, is you could probably eliminate 2 or 3 of those things, and it's less money. And do I want to build that time? I don't even have enough time to build it. So when you look at your tech stack and then what kind of company you want to be, and then refining it and getting ready for the season, that's what you need to really look at. And so when Ron's saying don't do anything, like I got you, this is kind of like, well, what features do you want in your company? What kind of company do you want to be? And does Ron solve a lot of them? If that's the case, then he's part of your tech stack.
Yeah. I mean, just at the end of the day, it's like no one, it's not, if it was already available, I would have it. The fact that it's not available is the reason why I created it. The same with the Kingdom Clip, the same with anything. If it was available, I would use it. I would just buy it because that's what I need. But since it's not out there, you have to invent it. Yeah. And that's what it is. But it was just like that. This guy called me with this phone answering system yesterday, and you heard the story. But he's like, "Oh, well, I got this answering service, and it'll answer for you, and it'll tell you how to do the Christmas. You just got to tell me like what you want it to say and your process and all that." And it's like, why would I tell you the whole entire process of exactly how to do it the most efficiently and then pay you $500 a month? You should pay me for that information. I'm not paying you. Are you serious? I'll just do it myself. And I got it halfway done.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then like a day and a half.
Yeah, I think humans should be pretty heavily involved in the client communication still. There's some things like automated things, quotes, but to be honest with you, if you automate all this stuff, where are you going to place yourself? That's another question you have to ask yourself. I'm kind of knowing where I need to be, but is everybody wants to automate the whole speaking to customer things and leads? And it's like, what's your lead conversion? Why are you scooping up so many like bad market leads? If I got like 5,000 calls in the Christmas light season, I'd look at my approach of why I'm getting all the trash, right? Is like, I want to target good customers. I want my brand. That's the other thing. Do you just have I'm scooping leads and you have a bad brand? People gravitate to brands and people, right? So it's like, I want to put my brand out there more. I need to put me as a person out there more. And I don't want 5,000 leads because I'm wasting my time. If my conversion rate, when you look at your conversion rate, there's good and bad parts of high conversion and low conversion. If you get 5,000 leads, you're probably going to have a low conversion rate. That's bad. And if you have high conversion rate, that means there's not enough leads. So there's like a sweet spot to it, and branding on top of the clients that you get, because they can waste their time designing things and everything else. And if it only converts at like 5%, there's a problem there. You need to stop what you're doing. Stop designing. You're like, I need to design more so we can get more clients. And you're chasing 5%. Try to chase more of like 25, 30% or something like that. You're only wasting your time, not all the time.
It's that streamline. It's like, oh, you have your own lights from Home Depot, but you want to, it's like, okay, boom, let me hit a button and transfer it to Dave Merle because he does that kind of stuff. He loves it. He specializes in Home Depot lights. And then like we give his number. We give his number out every time. Like
so in your directory, is he labeled as a
install box door lights? Yeah,
exactly. The retail lights.
Yeah, so we have like a little toggle, like, are you hiring? Do you install customer provided lights that are commercial grade, and then that way, if you bought a kit from me, you would install it, or do you provide client owned lights that were from a box store? So if you are like, there's plenty of people who do, and we love them. I mean, I have a list of about 6 or 7 that I know for sure. And then that way, when you have a customer comes in that doesn't fit your business model, you're like, boom, and then just instantly transfers them to the directory, and it's automatically on the setting of who in my zip code installs lights from Home Depot, and then boom, you can see the choices and make your decision. Like boom, like 2 seconds. Like you filter in, filter out, filter in, filter out. It's a web of running your business, and you can filter through 5,000 clients like sand going through your fingers. Like boom, it's done. I mean, that is the system for us, and it's not just here in Texas or Houston. It's all over the country. It's in every single zip code in the country. So you're going to see us dominating for Christmas.
No, I'm excited to see where you guys take it, and kind of who really capitalizes on it is the other thing. That's what's interesting. Is I like seeing the people that use it, and then like, oh, I doubled my business because I had this in my business. Is like, that's where you guys don't want to miss out on that type of stuff. If people can recognize the tool, then go take that tool and actually make things for themselves better, make their lives better, hire more people and feed their families. That's the most powerful thing about being an entrepreneur to me, is feeding other families. And if Ron has a tool to help you get there, you should entertain it. And it's like, what is it free to go to your event? Like, is it money? Like, what is it to get this tool?
What's the deal? You know, how much is it? You know, what's the deal here? Can I be a vendor?
Do I get a VIP pass? Like, what's going on? Are there VIP passes?
Can I sell my products on Christmas?
Oh, you were hard on me about planning, but look at you now.
I mean, it's
No,
on the website.
can I sell my products on ChristmasContractor.com? Like my fear, and Laura has to ask you a question to end everything, but about your projections for this year based on your new operating system. But
there was the question.
yeah, something along those lines. But anyway, what the hell was I saying, Bo?
I don't know. Anyway, as we were wrapping it up after a 3-hour podcast,
I told you before, it's only been 2 hours and 54 minutes and 22 seconds.
What do you think your projection is? Like, it really was my question.
I'll tell you where the bottleneck is, because that's what changes things. And from what I'm seeing is once I have everything that I have, even right now, I have to go hunt. So like you saw that hunt down thing, and I got to go get the leads, as I want all the leads to come to me. We can quote them, whatever, and we can try to take up as much market as that. But if they convert, I don't have a problem with getting supplies, right? I've been and I know where everything is, the people, the pricing. I have good pricing with most distributors. And then with it is I got the supplies.
With most distributors?
I have, yeah, with most distributors. And then with deeper, why do you guys say stuff like that?
I was just asking. I was getting a clarification.
No, there's
as you were saying, don't let him distract you.
As people get involved in the industry, people like to segregate. It's true, but there is segregation in the industry.
If you get in the distribution business, it's a lot different.
Calm down. Let's go.
And so when you look at it, it's not the supplies. It's not probably getting the clients or anything like that. It's not like the efficiency of my operations and everything. What's going to come down to is manpower. That's what, if I can't get enough guys, I can close all the leads I want. I can get all the supplies, prep all the supplies I want. I know how to do all of it. The problem is if I close too much, that's what me and Chelsea did talk about, that's why do you think I have a $10,000 residential minimum? Is because I think that's just the start. I'm just scratching the surface of like what is out there. It really is. I mean, we're bidding, Gracie's there bidding, projects over 200,000 right now. And it's like, those are open in our market. But if I get all those, do you have enough educated people? So I think it'll go into people, but not only people, we have to prepare for like training and onboarding people better. Yes. And so I think with all those things, there will become new bottlenecks within those bottlenecks, right? And those are the things we're preparing for. Those are the deep conversations like I like having with people that operate on a high level. Is like, but who's going to say those things? Like, when can you sit down with somebody who's scaled the company even bigger than yours that will give you the time? It's like, and then most of the time they're like, oh, you can pay me for yeah, I would pay you to get this knowledge of the future bottleneck that you're going to do a time machine for me for how much? You're going to solve these problems for me for how much? And it's like, its relative cost is nothing to bend somebody's ear. Like all these people on podcasts, and it's like, and they're like, oh, I had to pay this person $50,000 to get on my podcast or something. But are they saying the knowledge that moves the needle for people? Right. Do they give you $50,000 worth of value? That's kind of hard to do also. So I would say, where do we hit this year? We're already pretty large. And then what type of business do I want to make it? It is in between like lifestyle, because it's Christmas.
What's the multiplier? 1.5, 2?
I would like to do 1.5. I think that would be a good safe spot. But again, I don't want to do 1.5, and I'm struggling with like onboarding people, and everybody's messing everything up everywhere. They're not doing the photos. They still have to be committed to the cause.
They won't look at the map you put together for 4 months. They won't look at it.
And it's like, but it's all in one interface. Like, it's so easy. Like, it makes Jobber, like, even if it was hard for there, it's so easy with this, to where I have to get them iPads, because not everybody has iPads, and I want them to have that. And it's like, but how much time am I saving? How much money am I saving by building the operating system? All that money and time gets reinvested back into iPads, Meta glasses. I need content, you guys. I need you to do this. I need it to flag me that you're not doing this. And I need to keep you. That's the deterministic routing that I was talking about. When they hop on board, every employee just wants to be on this like railroad, to where they only go down this one path and they can't meander. They say, I'm a badass. I don't care if be a badass, a bullet train on my railway. That's it. Don't meander off to the sides or anything else. And that's what people like to do. Like the finger spacing and all this is like, how can they mess up everything every which way? That's such a good topic that it's endless conversation. That's a 20-hour podcast on that, right? And that's not what people are talking.
Do it, dog. You and I can do it.
But nobody's talking about that stuff, right? They're just trying to sell you supplies, and they're not trying to help you scale your company. And that's why I just can't get on board with some of that stuff, because it's like, I need to move the needle for you so you see value and that you understand that we are really doing some game-changing stuff over here. And it's not just a speakeasy up in the corner in Roanoke, Texas, right?
Right.
Yeah, you got to be all over the World Wide Web. Yeah, that's my.
Does that answer your question, Laura?
Yeah,
Yes,
he's on a
thank you.
1.5. That 30 minutes, he says 1.5. My fear of success, fear of success is really what drives people to say, I don't know, what happens if I succeed? Like, what happens if I wake up in the morning and there's 800 orders every day? There's 600 orders every morning. Because Laura's like, don't be doing all this because I'm the one that has to go over and do all this shit. That would be a nightmare to have like 600 new Shopify orders every single morning that has to be adjusted. So we have to figure out some click and ship partners. If it expands like I think it is, there's no way we're going to be able to handle it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The scalability, when you go vertical, hyperscaling is a problem. You can grow too fast. And so you have the hyperscale, you have the operations, you have all these things, but where are the choke points? Where are the bottlenecks as you climb this roller coaster? Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's a good problem to have, but it also can be like a bad problem. It could also kill your business, your reputation, your branding. So it's really nice to intensify your business, but there's more money, more problems, right? Like, all those things, and are you equipped to do it? That's why I said to try things out, test them. You have a tech stack. Does Ron thing work with yours? Go test it out. Just go see if you like it, see if it's part of your thing. And if it does, the whole thing is supposed to create an engine for yourself to be able to get to an operating system, to create the flywheels, and for you to have relief. That's what you're really going for. And that's what I feel like it is. And if it's not, then put a bunch of comments below, even if you're watching this after the live.
Yeah, well, if you're watching one of those little jumped up Opus clips.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the Opus clips. Anyway, anything else, Laura?
Nope.
All right, well, what's the famous last words? Let's see if Joey knows it.
Famous last words is good night.
No, that's not the famous last words. Don't be
You want me to do it like Ron with this mic?
Yeah,
Oh, you should totally do it.
Well, first
Get
of
down
all,
there.
if your life
Look
ain't going
deep.
the way you want.
Look deep in the camera.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, so set it up for me.
Well, that's it. And this is the end of the show. And, Murphy wants to have this one last word where he's going to give you a little bit of advice.
You got to get off your ass and get busy.